Внимание, внимание! Уважаемые товарищи! Городской совет народных депутатов сообщает, что в связи с аварией на Чернобыльской атомной электростанции в городе Припяти складывается неблагоприятная радиационная обстановка.
Welcome to our humble home. My heart rejoices to see us all together as sisters and brothers. You were all summoned here to proclaim your allegiance to the gods. That was the agreement, and you have stood by your word. The faithful need not be afraid. We who have been blessed by the gods will prove the power of our faith to the doubtful. The unfaithful are no more. They brought the wrath of the gods upon themselves. Do you understand? They are to blame. But we are still together. Everyone who matters is all right. As for the others, we must hope for the best and prepare for the worst.
I want chicken, I want liver, meow mix, please deliver.
I sure could go for 100 tacos right about now.
Objection!
Mia's little sister's been framed. It's up to you to clear her.
Objection!
Gather evidence, talk with witnesses, and build your case. Cousins Maya and Pearl Faye will always have your back. Use their spiritual powers to unlock people's hearts and get to the truth. Detective Gumshoe and Emma Skye are also on the case. From metal detectors to fingerprinting kits, gather forensic evidence with special gear only they can provide. Time to prove your client's innocence. Use your evidence to poke holes in witnesses' testimonies, uncover the facts, and expose the real culprit.
Objection! Objection!
Edgeworth, Franziska, and Godot will stop at nothing to get their convictions. Tackle cases big and small and finish.
I object. Hello everybody, how's it going? I hope you're doing well. It didn't play? Well, I'll just make it play again.
Objection!
Bam. It doesn't play during the intro, I guess. Which is funny. Maybe I should make it play during the intro. I don't know. I hope y'all are doing well. I'm gonna open the Taco Tuesday taco token drawing right now. Hastings Blue and Finkelroy. So you can declare your love for tacos. You don't even have to love the game we're playing. You just have to love tacos.
I sure could go for 100 tacos right about now.
Who couldn't? Whoops, I started the wrong game. I will say I'm enjoying parts of this game. We're in the trial phase right now. That's probably all we're gonna do today.
Danganronpa.
Unless this trial happens to be shorter than all the other ones. You are allowed to like the music as well. I kind of remember what happened last time. Someone with a mask on died, and then there was a bomb, they blew up. Kyoko was gone for pretty much the entire time. We were all together most of the time, but Toko left and discovered the body and was alone when the body was discovered. And it was done with a knife that was in our drawer. We had a dream, what we thought was a dream the other night, where a masked person like was there, and I think that Kyoko hit him over the head with a pipe but didn't kill him.
Danganronpa.
I mean, the implication is one of us did it, and they're one of us, so they could have done it themselves. Heck, it could have been the plant, for all we know. Remember, that plant was just introduced. Anyway. Or the chickens. There was one missing chicken. That is true. There was a missing chicken. One of the chickens was missing. Another question is indirect is somebody dying indirectly considered a murder? Like, let's say you put a knife, let's say if you throw a knife and a chicken in the plant eats the chicken, spits out the knife or whatever, and it kills somebody. Are you responsible for that? I don't know. Being the last one left, I stepped into the elevator and I started the timer. Whoa! Something's wrong with the timer, by the way. I just noticed that. Hang on, I gotta fix it. We have not been playing this game for a day. Wait, have we been playing this game for... Oh, maybe we have been playing this game for a day. I guess there's nothing wrong with the timer. That's how my timer works now. Well, I don't like that. There's nothing wrong with the timer. Never mind. I did it for that other one, and we haven't... I don't think we've had a game since I changed it that went past 24 hours, so... Yeah, exactly. The chicken stabbed the guy with a knife. Exactly. It was predicted by Jackbox. Anyway, there's nothing wrong with the timer. Never mind. This time the clone... I don't read these. Because it's just... A light of hope. Oh.
I can't wait! I can't wait!
I've been waiting for this. I feel like it's been forever since we got together like this. Time for pointless jokes and jabs has passed.
Chills!
Let's get on with the show! The curtain opened for the 5th time. A deadly class trial. And now we can save. I guess maybe I should have waited until here. I don't know. Alright, I guess I'll set my skills. Do said skills pay the bills? Sure, why not? Let's set those skills. Let's just briefly look through the so if this one says the victim's identity was unknown. They were, however, dead before the blast. The victim has been stabbed a single time with a knife, which went completely through the body. They also have been struck in the head with an object about the thick of metal pipe. Body was covered with other wounds, but these were at least several days old. All right, we got exploded body. The body was burnt beyond recognition. The upper body remained on fire and it had to be extinguished. Because of this, the upper body was soaking wet while the bottom half remained dry. The body was wearing notably long fake nails. The body had a tattoo of a dog. There were fragments of a bomb near the body. The sprinklers came on at 7:30. The body was found. There you go. There's a knife. The crime scene is the same knife that Toko had given to Makoto for safekeeping. There was a tarp. It was dirty. One side was wet and filthy with mud and grime. The other was clean, was completely clean and dry. There was a missing chicken. Byakuya stated that there was no corpse in the garden just after nighttime last night, so it can be assumed the murder must have taken place sometime after that. He said that Hiro, Toko, and Hina were in the gym the entire night, and they weren't alone at any point. The corpse had a mask covering its head and a white jacket covering the body. A knife had been thrust into the abdomen, and there were blood stains around the room. The body had stopped bleeding, but the blood was still wet. It was noted, however, that there was no blood on the ground around the body. There was a note about this person. Mikuro, female, obsessed with the military. Apparently they get tattoos. Apparently the killing game began with 16 participants. It revealed that the reason Kyoko wears gloves is to hide something she doesn't want anyone to see. There was a wooden block decorated. It's actually the key to one of the lockers. There were titanium arrows that were found in the dojo locker. There were 10. There was bloody duct tape that was walled up in a ball. The duct tape had traces of blood on it. It assumed this was related to the case. And Kyoko said that used Monokuma's secret tool, which grants access to any room in the school, to sneak into the second floor of the dorms rather. This area seems to have no monitors or security cameras. That's it. That's all the stuff we've got. All right, let's go.
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial.
I also never noticed that this room changes every time.
If you can figure out, then I'll punish everyone.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
We already know
Let's
this.
discuss the specifics of the victim. First, we need to clarify who exactly the unidentified victim is.
It's Kyoko. There's no other explanation.
But Kyoko's standing right there.
No, that's a ghost!
But she has legs and stuff.
Legs and stuff.
Well, that's just because she's like the latest evolution in ghost technology.
There's a limit to how much ridiculousness I can tolerate.
Okay. So I just have to prove that the corpse isn't Kyoko, right? Then let's compare Kyoko's traits to the traits
There's
of the dead
Kyoko.
body.
Proven. Done. Proven. Kyoko's right there. I proved it.
Her traits?
I got it! I'm talking about her gloves. They'll give us some insight into the mystery. I'm sure of it.
In that case, I think it would be helpful if someone explained why she actually wears those gloves.
And would you happen to know the answer?
In fact, Monokuma told me. Apparently you have scars on your hands you don't want anyone to see.
Oh, you know, now that I think about it, the corpse wasn't wearing any gloves, right?
You're a genius,
They
Hina.
probably just got burnt up in the explosion. I'm not convinced. The ghost is just trying to fool us all.
There's no way. Well, we all know that. All right.
That Kyoko there is just a ghost.
Possible.
Okay, then prove it. Prove she's not a ghost.
The dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
They got burnt up in the explosion.
Then she was wearing gloves before the explosion?
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves. Because that corpse is absolutely Kyoko.
This entire discussion is idiotic.
That Kyoko there is just a ghost.
The fake nails is the proof.
Okay, then prove it. Prove she's not a ghost.
The dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
They got burnt up in the explosion.
Then she was wearing gloves before the explosion?
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves.
God damn it.
Because that corpse is absolutely Kyoko.
This entire discussion is idiotic.
I was afraid of that. All right. Well, we know what we need.
Kyoko there is just a ghost.
Impossible.
Okay, then prove it. Prove she's not a ghost.
The dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
They got burnt up in the explosion.
Then she was wearing gloves.
It's hard for me to say what my least favorite part of this game is.
She must have been wearing gloves.
There we go.
No, it's wrong.
Like, I don't mind this part. I kind of wish it wasn't an action. I just kind of wish it wasn't action.
Whoever it was, they were wearing fake nails. Remember, I imagine trying to wear gloves over nails like that would have been a pretty big pain. Besides, Kyoko wears gloves to hide her hands, right? It'd be pretty weird for someone who's self-conscious about their hands to wear fake nails. Don't you think?
Jeez, man, you don't know women, huh? They're complicated like that.
If anyone doesn't know women, it's you.
Well, Kyoko, any thoughts?
These gloves were custom made to the size of my hands to make sure they don't interfere with my daily life. If I wore fake nails, the gloves wouldn't fit properly.
Then that's that. The dead body doesn't belong to Kyoko.
Which should have been obvious since she's standing right here.
Okay, so then, who's the real victim? First, we need to figure that out.
I want to walk over there and punch Hiro in the face right now.
That's the first thing I said. You're the one who's been dragging us around in circles.
In this is the game where I hate almost everybody. I think we're gonna pick exploded.
If Kyoko really is still alive, then who died?
There's gotta be some way to figure it out. I don't think so. The face was scorched beyond recognition. And there wasn't any description in the Monokuma file. Well, if we can't identify the body...
No, that's wrong.
I should have waited, but I didn't.
There was one clue left behind that we can use to identify the body.
What? For real? If you're lying, you'll die a cruel and unusual death.
Cruel and unusual death? This I gotta see.
Hey,
She's
Scar,
just
roll.
being stupid. Ignore them, Makoto. Tell us what you're talking about.
The key to figuring out who it was is the tattoo on the back of her hand.
Oh, yeah. The design's pretty strange, huh? Is this a dog? Her master must have made her get it. To be like, you're my bitch.
Seriously? It really did something that humiliating?
No, that's not it. The identity of the victim is hidden within that tattoo.
You do love tacos? Well, that's good.
Oh, really?
Me too. Yeah. Okay, where's it at? Where's this thing?
I got it! The Fenrir Mercenary Corps. That's the name of the military group Mukuro Ikusaba belonged to.
Okay, So...
To show that they're a member of the team, each soldier that joins the squad would get a tattoo representing Fenrir somewhere on their body.
Fenrir, I said it right.
Fenrir?
Isn't this like a... I was like, this is like 3 characters. Wow, we did it.
Now I understand. The representation of Fenrir is a wolf.
Fenrir, the Wolf of Ragnarok. It's from Norse mythology. A huge, world-ending wolf beast. He's the child of the trickster god Loki, and a female giant.
Man, after all this time, we finally got a glimpse of the literary all-star.
A wolf tattoo. And
You know,
that means...
I keep forgetting that I can talk to Toko.
Exactly. The body
Because I
we
don't
found
want
had
to.
a tattoo of a wolf, which means that person must have once belonged to Fenrir. So it must have been Mukuro.
Mukuro. I said Mukaru, so that was wrong. Mukuro.
Hold on. Isn't she the one that was behind this whole thing?
You sound surprised, but you're absolutely right. Yes, indeed. The trial this time is to solve the murder of Mukuro Ikusaba.
Are you saying the mastermind is dead? And now we have to have a cool-ass trial?
No. It means we were wrong in thinking that Mukuro was the mastermind at all.
But I mean, being the ultimate despair seems like a pretty mastermindy title to me.
Maybe we shouldn't have been thinking of her as the ultimate despair in the first place. After all, looking at her profile, I didn't see anything that would fit such a description. All it said was that she was the ultimate soldier. If I remember correctly, that other information came from Kyoko. That's what you told Makoto, right?
So that means Kyoko got it wrong?
And who was she? Who was Mukuro Ikusaba? She's been gone this whole time, and when she finally turns up, she gets killed. Usually when there's a scene where an important character dies, it has a lot more detail.
So you're saying she wasn't an important character? Which would mean she was the same as us. Just another participant.
Then who's the real mastermind?
It must have been the Hope's Peak Academy headmaster after all.
No, the headmaster has nothing to do with it.
But how can we trust that? We already know your information about Mukuro was wrong.
My information was not wrong.
Okay. We're in the middle of a trial right now. Figuring out who killed Mukuro is first and foremost. Please limit all future prattle, chatter, and chit-chat as much as possible.
We will have order in this class
Fine.
trial.
Uncovering the identity of the mastermind will have to wait. But remember this. No matter what happens, we will find out who you really are. I stake my family name on it.
I have officially decided to completely ignore all such attempts at provocation. Now then, just so nobody's confused, let me state this one more time for the record. The reason we're having a class trial is because a murder among the students has taken place. Hammer that point straight into your big ol' brains!
What you're saying is that both the victim and the culprit are part of the student body?
Then, one of us killed Mukuro?
Wait, no! There's a chance that there's some mystery 17th person who's been hiding all along!
Nope! There are only 16 students in total that have been taking part in these events.
Seriously? Then one of us killed Mukuro?
I was Hero.
Who did it? Who's the killer this time?
Get a hold of yourself. We've already narrowed down the list of possible suspects.
Huh?
I'm sure you realize who I'm talking about, right, Makoto? Who the evidence points to?
I got it! narrowed it down to Kyoko and me, right?
Why do you say that?
Allow me to explain. Just after nighttime last night, I went to the garden, so I can confirm that at that point, there was no dead body there. So, the murder must have taken place after I left the garden. However, Hiro, Toko, Hina, and I were in the gym the entire time.
The gym?
That's right. The four of us were there trying to dismantle Monokuma. The whole time we were very careful not to go anywhere alone. We even went to the bathroom in pairs. All of which is to say, the four of us all have alibis. The only ones without alibis
are me and Makoto. That's why you're able to narrow down the list of suspects.
Exactly so.
Well, I know I didn't do it.
I have something I'd like to say regarding the whole alibi thing.
Are you thinking of raising an objection?
Well, before that, I just want to try and get a better idea of what time the murder took place. Doing that might reveal some kind of clue.
Whatever you want. Somebody go ahead and help him out.
Me and Byakuya can both confirm that the body wasn't in the garden at... Well, it was after nighttime for sure. I'd say it must have been around 10 o'clock. So the murder must have happened after 10 p.m.
Then I guess we can say the time frame for the murder was between then and when we found the body? Oh, but what time did we find the body?
The one who saw the body first was Toko, right? And she went to go get the pickaxe.
I got it! The body must have been discovered at 9 a.m., since that's when Toko went to get the pickaxe.
Wow, I'm a genius. Oh, good. We get to see this scene again.
He's right. It had to be around then.
So we can be totally sure the murder happened sometime between 10 at night and 9 in the morning.
For me, I was already asleep before nighttime hit, so I don't have an alibi after 10 o'clock. But I'm sure I met up with everyone else before 9 this morning.
We ran into each other in the dining hall, right? That was around... Oh yeah! Right around 7:30. I remember checking right before I went in, so I'm totally sure about it.
Which means from 10 p.m. to 7:30 a.m., you don't have an alibi.
All right. This is getting harder.
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yep, and Makoto doesn't have an alibi for most of that time.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
That's more than enough time to commit murder, I should think. So Makoto, if you have any objections, now would be the time.
Okay, it is the sprinklers.
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yep, and Makoto doesn't have an alibi for most of that time.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
Nope.
Shoot!
What do we put?
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yep, and Makoto doesn't have an alibi for most of that time.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock.
Maybe we have to do 10 o'clock.
7:30.
That's
It's
more than enough time
sprinklers.
to commit murder, I should think. So Makoto, if you have any objections, now would be the time. We've established a time frame for the murder. It it took place somewhere between 10 o'clock and...
Okay, there it is.
No, that's wrong. Actually, the murder couldn't have happened anywhere near 10 o'clock. It had to have taken place way later.
And what makes you say that?
Because of the sprinklers in the garden. The sprinklers are set to go off right at 7:30 every morning, right? So if the body had been in the garden before 7:30, then it should have been completely soaked.
Oh, hold on. I remember this part perfectly. The body was wet. Dripping wet, in fact.
Sorry, Toko, but you're wrong.
I'm wrong? How? Are you saying only the mouth down south was wet? How dare you spew such indecent words!
No, I'm saying that the body was wet, but not because of the sprinklers.
What do you mean? By denying the sprinkler, are you trying to deny my entire existence?
Man, you're totally whacked.
Oh my god, these characters are so annoying.
If you really think it wasn't the sprinkler, you'd better tell us why!
Oh. Oh, we gotta do this. Yay.
I admit nothing. I hate you. No! You don't know anything! Hold on! Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. I hate you. No! You don't know anything! Hold on! Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. I hate you. No! You don't know anything! Hold on! Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. I hate you. No! You don't know anything! Hold on!
Oh, I'm out of bullets!
How can you say it wasn't the...
This should prove it.
I was gonna be given multiple options.
Just remember what the body was like after the explosion, and you'll see why it wasn't the sprinklers. The top half of the body was wet, yes, but the bottom half was completely dry. If the sprinklers got the body wet, shouldn't the whole body have been wet?
So they only got the top wet? The bottom was completely dry? What a brutal maniac! I'm so sick of her.
Me too.
Let's just move on. The reason only the top half was wet was because...
Ice. Spilled
while
water
the body
on
was
it.
still on fire, I doused it with water. But only the part on fire, the top half.
Oh, then I guess the sprinklers really didn't do it.
So if the sprinklers didn't get the body wet, then the murder must have taken place sometime after the sprinklers turned on at 7:30 in the morning.
Which means she must have been killed sometime between then and when the body was discovered.
Yeah, but the tarp throws.
But Makoto's alibi was only missing from 10 o'clock last night to 7:30 this
Well,
morning, right?
technically it is even.
So there's no way Makoto could have done it. I guess you had an alibi after all. Good for you.
In which case, the only one left without an alibi is Kyoko.
Yep. I refuse to believe it. Kyoko murdered someone?
I'd just like
That's...
to say one thing. If you vote for me and I die here, the mystery of this school will stay hidden forever. Which is why I can't let that happen.
Huh?
So are you saying you're not the culprit?
Of course I'm not. I have no reason to kill anyone. This is a trap the mastermind has laid for us.
A trap?
We're this far into the game, and now you decide to blame me? Stop wasting time! Stop wasting energy! You really think your little trick is gonna work?
Shut up, you!
You got it, boss.
Quiet,
Shutting
you.
up now.
Anyway, Kyoko, you actually did have a reason to kill her.
Huh? She did?
She thought Mukuro was the ultimate despair. In other words, the mastermind behind everything. So she killed her to try and put a stop to all this. Isn't that right, Kyoko? But you made one catastrophic mistake. Mukuro wasn't the mastermind at all. And as a result, we were forced into another trial. Something I'm sure you weren't at all expecting.
So, that was her motive?
If she had a motive and no alibi, well then, I think it's pretty clear Kyoko's gotta be the culprit.
I'm not the only one without an alibi. Makoto's explanation is still insufficient.
Huh?
The sprinklers didn't get the body wet, but that doesn't mean the murder happened when he said it did.
What are you...
Because you see, there is a way the body could have avoided getting wet.
Interesting. I'm listening.
All it would take is covering the body with a certain something to keep it from getting wet.
Oh, I'm gonna like present the evidence that.
You're talking about the tarp, aren't you?
You catch on quick. You're right. All you'd have to do is cover the body with the tarp, and that'd take care of the water. In fact, that's exactly what the killer did. The dirt pattern on the tarp can attest to that. Only one side of the tarp got dirty, because that's the side that got covered in water.
Was it dirty water? That's pretty gross-ass water.
The side that faced down over the body, meanwhile, kept perfectly clean. This proves that the killer used the tarp to keep the body from getting soaked.
But why would they go to all that effort just to keep the body from getting wet?
Most likely so they could cloud the issue of when the murder actually took place. In other words, to create an excuse exactly like the one Makoto just gave us.
Why would Kyoko say that? To put doubt in people's minds. That's why. The tarp must have touched the body, right? But the body...
Wait. Something's not right.
And what might that be? By covering the body with the tarp, the killer prevented it from getting wet.
So the reason the tarp was only dirty on one side is because the sprinkler got that side wet.
But the underside of the tarp, it was totally spotless, right?
It's because that side was protected from the water.
Nope. I should listen to everything. I need to listen to everything.
By covering the body with the tarp, the killer prevented it from getting wet.
So the reason the tarp was only dirty on one side is because the sprinkler got that side wet.
But the underside of the tarp, it was totally spotless, right?
It's because that side was protected from the water. Since it was facing down toward the body, of course it didn't get dirty.
Oh yeah.
By covering the body with the tarp,
Okay, I got it now.
the killer prevented it from getting wet.
It's the last
So
statement
the
we
reason
need to
the
do.
tarp was only dirty on one side is because the sprinkler got that side wet.
But the underside of the tarp, it was totally spotless, right?
It's because that side was protected from the water. Since it was facing down toward the body, of course it didn't get dirty.
No, it's wrong.
That was the knife.
Actually, one side being clean is pretty strange if you think about it. Because the blood wasn't dry before the body got blown up, right? Byakuya said it himself. Not to touch it, or you might get some on you.
Yeah, this game is
Put a
long.
tarp on a body in that state, it absolutely would have gotten blood on it.
Well, maybe the culprit washed it, so nobody would know they'd used it.
If they had, they would have washed both sides. Just washing the one side wouldn't hide anything.
Oh, yeah, true.
More than that, what if the very blood we saw on the body was meant as a kind of camouflage?
The blood was camouflage.
After the killer used the tarp to avoid the sprinklers, they then covered the body in blood that didn't belong to the victim.
You mean someone else's blood? Where would they get something like that?
I know! They could have grabbed some of the blood packs from the nurse's office. That's what Hifumi did, right? When he pretended to be dead?
No, that's not what happened this time. The killer got the blood from right there in the garden.
The chicken.
I got it!
They killed a chicken.
Chicken blood?
What? Chicken blood?
When I checked the chicken coop before the murder, but after the murder, there were only 4.
So, you're saying someone killed a chicken and then covered the body with its blood? Man, that's messed up.
Killing a living thing just to do something like that is awful. They should have at least eaten it.
I wonder if the killer had to get the blood from the scene so they wouldn't be spotted walking around. Anyway, there's no denying that a chicken went missing, which provides a basis for my theory.
Perhaps, but even so, there's one thing that still doesn't make sense. You said the culprit used the tarp to avoid the water and then covered the body in blood, right? But if that's the case, then the blood should have soaked into the ground around the body. But that's not what we saw. Only the victim's clothing had blood on it. The ground was completely clean.
I have to agree, that certainly is strange. Maybe they didn't apply the blood at the scene. Maybe they covered the coat in blood beforehand.
They covered it beforehand?
When you discovered the body, was it wearing the coat like you normally would?
I think so. Wait, no. The head was through the neck hole, but the arms weren't in the sleeves.
Then that settles it.
Sorry, I'm having a tough time keeping up. What settles what?
Here's what happened. The murder took place before the sprinklers went off. But the body didn't get wet because the killer covered it with the tarp. Then, later, at the same time the killer was gathering up the tarp, they pulled the coat over the body. The coat they'd already covered in blood.
Who writes this stuff?
This series of cover-ups was meant to disguise
Like,
the
seriously?
actual time the murder occurred. They wanted us to think the murder happened sometime after the sprinklers had gone off, at 7:30.
If that's actually what took place, it certainly becomes possible that the murder happened earlier.
But to pull all that off, wouldn't they have had to go back to the garden after the sprinklers turned off?
That actually wouldn't have been all that difficult.
Huh?
They already had the coat ready, so they just had to grab the tarp and pull the coat over the body. They'd be done in no time.
Maybe, but still.
Hina, after you met up with Makoto in the dining hall, did you two stay together from that point on?
Oh no, I headed off to the gym, and Makoto didn't show up till later.
Then he had plenty of time to spare, wouldn't you say?
That's not...
Don't bother saying it's not possible.
I must admit, Kyoko's reasoning is sound. Makoto's alibi is inadequate.
Ooh, alright, I'm up at the dingus counter. Makoto is so dumb. Like, my gosh, he's like hero level dumb. Like, hero level dumb. Disguised dead body has been added to the truth bullets section.
Well,
we got a new thing.
Looks like we're back to square one. Makoto's alibi is no good, so once again, our suspects are him and Kyoko.
For serious, man? Which one of them did it? Hey, why don't we let luck decide? Let's flip a coin. 50-50 odds.
Oh!
See? Pretty good idea, right?
No, not that. I just remembered something super serious.
Well, don't just stand there. Out with it.
Out with it!
You know that knife we found all black and burnt?
The one we found stuck in the body before it exploded, right? According to the Monokuma file, the knife went all the way through, from front to back. So, what about it?
I'm pretty sure I'd seen that knife somewhere before. That's what I thought when I first saw it. I just remembered.
Man, everybody's so dumb. Yeah, we had the knife.
It's the knife we gave to Makoto?
You don't seem surprised. You must have noticed earlier.
Yeah.
Then why did you hide that fact?
It's not that I hid it. It's just...
I couldn't be sure what actually happened last night. I thought maybe I really did kill her.
Suspicious. Very suspicious indeed. The knife we found stuck in the body came from Makoto. Now I'm totally convinced he did it. 12,000% convinced.
I have to prove that I didn't murder anyone. Oh man. You notice how like every single one has like a thing now? This is rough.
Found lodged in the dead body. It's the same one we gave to Makoto. It really is, isn't it? I was afraid of that.
If he did have that knife before, then that seals it. Makoto did it.
Just because I had the knife once, that automatically makes me the killer?
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her, right? So there's no question. You took that knife of yours and killed her with it.
What a horrible man you are, Makoto. The knife we found lodged in the dead body. It's the same one we gave to Makoto. It really is, isn't it? I was afraid of that.
If he did have that knife before, then that seals it. Makoto did it.
I got it.
Just because I had the knife once, that automatically makes me the killer?
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her, right?
No, it's wrong. Wait, hold on. The stab wound isn't what killed Mukuro. That should be clear from the description of the cover-up we just heard.
Lies! We never talked about what killed her!
No, don't you remember? The killer covered the dead body with the tarp, and then put the bloody coat on it, right? In other words, the victim never wore that blood-stained coat until after they were dead.
Okay, fine. So what?
So, when we discovered the body, the knife had been thrust through the coat along with the body. Meaning, if she wasn't stabbed until the coat was put on, and she was already dead at that point, obviously the stab wound isn't what killed her.
Maybe you stabbed her twice. Once to kill her and once to cover it up.
I got it! The Monokuma file clearly states that there was only one stab wound.
Oh yeah, it sure did. I totally forgot about that.
Then the knife...
Stop talking, hero.
Was just another piece of camouflage set up by the true killer. They probably stabbed her to draw attention away from what actually killed her. Exploding the body afterward was probably meant to do the same thing. The explosion severely damaged the body, making it impossible to know what really killed him. It was all the killer's attempt to destroy all evidence of their crime.
So they wanted us to notice the stab wound and then detonated the body afterward. They meant for us to latch onto the knife as the cause of death, then destroy any evidence proving otherwise.
Oh, hey, I have a question. It kind of goes back to the beginning, but what's the deal with that explosion anyway? Why'd the body just blow up all of a sudden like that?
If you bothered to put that lump of gray matter between your ears to use, you'd know the answer.
Well, if you're so smart...
I know the answer.
I'll tell you. I bet some unknown quantum particle caused an atomic-level spontaneous combustion!
I might be dumb, but even I'm not dumb enough to believe that.
Go ahead, Makoto. Tell her or we won't make any headway on this.
Why don't you? Why do I have to do it? Is it the... I guess I have to say, use the fragments.
I got it! After the explosion, we found a tiny fragment of something on the ground near the body, right? That fragment reveals the cause of the explosion.
Huh? You know, I feel like I've seen something like it somewhere before.
That's only natural, because of course, we saw the same thing when we dismantled Monokuma. It's part of a bomb.
Oh! Then the explosion was because of the Monokuma bomb.
Anyway, the culprit's motive is becoming more and more obvious by the minute. They wanted the knife wound to look like the fatal injury so that we'd suspect Makoto. And the only one who would benefit from that is the only other possible suspect. You, Kyoko.
Hold on a second, Byakuya.
What's the problem?
Well, I just feel like we need to think this through. We still don't know what actually killed the victim.
That's true. It's definitely bugging me. What really killed her?
Fine. I have no problem with that. Let us continue the debate. It won't change the facts of the case regardless.
Considering their facts, that's true. That's it, I've got one thing.
Then shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. I guess.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
And it wasn't you because of the knife, right? And then there's only one other thing.
Oh, yeah. According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body. Then shall we continue the debate?
I don't know what I'm supposed to do here.
The fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. Yes.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
And it wasn't you because of the knife, right? And then there's only one other thing.
Oh, yeah. According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit
Nope,
on the back
not
of
that
her
one. I'm not sure.
Then shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion.
All right, let me look at the file. Let me look more into the file. Due to the explosion, the identity is unknown. They were dead before the blast. The victim has been stabbed a single time with a knife. They were also struck in the head with an object as the body was covered with other wounds, but these were at least several days old. That's all it says.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
And it wasn't me because of the knife, right? And then there's only one other thing.
Oh, yeah. According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
Nope, it's not that either. What are we trying to do here? I'm really confused.
The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined.
Yes, you can give me a
The
hint.
explosion didn't kill her for sure.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
And it wasn't me because of the knife, right? And then there's only one other thing.
Oh, yeah. According to the Monokuma file,
Oh,
that's
it's...
gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
Whoops.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body.
Hey, no one.
Then shall we continue the debate?
This is probably... If I don't get this right, it's gonna kill me.
Injury has yet to be determined.
Okay, I got it right. I don't understand why that's wrong.
Mukuro died because of the blow to the back of the head she suffered.
What about the wounds all over the rest of her body? They didn't have anything to do with it?
The Monokuma file makes it clear that those weren't fresh wounds.
Wait, how did I refute something?
Oh yeah, good point. If they were old, I guess they don't really matter.
Did I refute something?
Okay, then we're safe in assuming the blow to the back of her head is what killed her.
But then, what was the murder weapon? The Monokuma file says she was hit with a blunt object, about as thick as a metal pipe.
Oh, I bet it was the pickaxe!
How is that even possible? If you hit someone with that, it'd cave their skull in completely.
Well, maybe they held it the other way and hit her with the handle.
No way! The balance would be all off. You wouldn't be able to swing it with any kind of power. I wouldn't mind testing it on you if you want.
No thanks. I bet you just hit me with the metal end and call it an accident.
I'd love to scoop out that nasty brain of yours, throw it on the ground and spit on it.
I feel the same way. Looks like we're on the same page this time.
Seriously?
We want to figure out what killed her, right? It just so happens we already know.
We already know? I knew we could count on you, Master.
So what was it?
Go ahead and tell them, Makoto. Surely you've deduced the real murder weapon?
What was the murder weapon?
I got it! Mukuro was hit in the back of the head with something. And that's what killed her. And that something was the titanium arrow we found in the locker in the dojo.
Arrow? That's what the culprit attacked Mukuro with?
Indeed. There's no doubt about it.
Are you sure? That sounds kind of weird.
It does, and also not possible?
Hey! How dare you backtalk, Master? You have no right!
I'm not backtalking anything. I'm just saying what I think.
Okay. I'm confused.
The titanium arrow. It was in the dojo locker, right? I have no doubt that was the murder weapon.
Are you sure?
You don't sound convinced. What's the problem?
Well, 'cause in the Monokuma file, It said the weapon must have been about as thick as a metal pipe, right? It seems like an arrow would just be too thin.
Talking back to Master! You have no right!
Oh, they were all duct taped together.
Titanium arrow.
I get it.
It was in the dojo locker, right? I have no doubt that was a murder weapon.
Are you sure?
You don't sound convinced. What's the problem?
Well, because in the Monokuma file, it said the weapon must have been about as thick as a metal pipe, right? It seems like an arrow would just be too thick.
No, that's wrong.
I mean, it is right. An arrow would be too thin.
You're right. Just the one arrow would have been too weak. That's why the killer used another weapon.
Another weapon?
Inside the dojo locker, we also found a balled-up wad of duct tape. The killer probably used this duct tape to bind multiple arrows together. Bundling them together using the duct tape would easily create a single weapon as thick as a pipe. And that's exactly what the killer did.
It's similar to Aesop's fable about the bundle of sticks. One stick is weak, but put them together, and they become strong. It's meant to teach cooperation.
Damn, that's harsh.
How is it harsh? Are you even...
Anyway, that explains the murder weapon. As for who the culprit is that stashed the weapon in the dojo locker, it was you, Kyoko.
I've never been to the dojo.
Oh no, you absolutely have.
How can you say that with such confidence?
Because we have proof, of course. Don't we, Makoto? What's the matter? Surely you don't intend to protect a murderer. You know what will happen if you do, don't you? If you cover for the culprit, there's only one thing that can lead to. The death of us all, remember?
Of course I remember.
Then show us. Show everyone the evidence that proves Kyoko went to the dojo.
I mean, it's the key. I have to.
I got it! The one thing that proves Kyoko was in the dojo is right here. The key to the dojo locker.
And how does that prove anything?
Because I found it in your room.
It was in my room?
Don't bother trying to play dumb. That key is just the final piece of the puzzle. Your non-existent alibi, your clear motive, your attempts to frame Makoto for the crime. This all proves that you are the true culprit. You can't explain this away.
She didn't have the key to her room.
Hold on a second.
Not this again. You really are dead set on defending her, aren't you?
I think he might have done it.
No, it's not that I want to defend her. It's just, there's one more thing I need to ask her. Kyoko, I want you to tell me something. Last night, you were in my room, weren't you? Why? What were you doing there? That's what I need to know.
I was just protecting you.
What?
She knew I was being attacked. And she came to my rescue. Could that be when... Which would mean that Kyoko, she killed someone for me?
Enough. The time for idle chatter is over. A verdict is close at hand.
Wait. I'm warning you. Don't make this mistake. I'm not the killer.
I knew you were stubborn, but this is just getting ridiculous.
Really? But you should know better than anyone I didn't do it. Can you tell me I'm wrong?
I should know.
Because he had the key. we know that. When the body was found.
Those words you just spoke. What do you mean?
Exactly what I said. I'm not the killer. You should understand that more than anyone here.
Byakuya, what are you hiding?
Master would never hide something from me!
There's proof that you aren't the culprit. Is that what you're saying?
You stated a theory earlier. You said I hid the evidence of my crime in the dojo locker, and then left the locker key in my own room, correct? But could I really have done that?
Those words you just spoke, what do you mean?
Exactly what I said. I'm not the killer. You should understand that more than anyone here.
Byakuya, what are you hiding?
I know what we're trying to get to. It's just the way we're getting to it.
The culprit. Is that what you're saying?
You stated a theory earlier. You said I hid the evidence of my crime in the dojo locker, and then left the locker key in my own room, correct? But could I really have done that?
Those words you just spoke, what do you mean?
Exactly what I said. I'm not the killer. You should understand that more than anyone here.
Byakuya, what are you hiding?
Master would never hide something from me!
There's proof that you aren't the culprit.
Oh.
No, that's wrong. If I'm right, Kyoko wouldn't have been able to get into her room.
Huh? Why not?
Because she had given her room key to Byakuya.
I see. So that's what you meant. And if I had the key to your room...
Man, he's an idiot too!
Then obviously I had no way of getting in. Without my room key, I couldn't have possibly put the locker key in there myself. Am I wrong?
It would appear not.
Then you're finally starting to understand.
Oh, that's not actually true. It just isn't like her. Trying to save herself with such a desperate lie. The mastermind's trap. But what's happening now? Makuro and Kyoko killed her? What does Kyoko really know? What am I supposed to do? Kyoko's lie. I'm the only one who knows it's a lie. I'm the only one who can expose it. But who can I trust? What am I supposed to do? The mastermind's trap. Oh, she has the key to unlock any door. That's right. So she could have gotten in there. I forgot. What do I do? We're not gonna mention the key. The key is, I feel like that's the trap. The trap is to expose who has the key.
Well, does no one have a rebuttal? Have you decided to accept her assertion as fact? I see. So you still refuse to accept it. I suppose we have to admit that Kyoko didn't put the locker key in her room. That it was someone else.
But who else could it have been?
I mean, Byakuya had a room key, right?
You! What are you trying to imply?
Of course, I have an alibi. From nighttime on, I was with you guys the entire time. I couldn't possibly have killed anyone, or put the key in Kyoko's room.
Well, someone had to put the key in there.
There's only one other possibility I can think of. Someone could have had the key on them, then once they arrived at the scene, pretended to find it there.
It had to be Makoto, right?
I don't see any other option.
Wait a second. You've got it all wrong. Let's think about it one more time. There's gotta be a hidden side to this case.
Huh? A hidden side?
First of all, there's something off about this entire trial. You all see it, don't you? Mukuro, who we didn't even know existed, suddenly shows up dead. And then we're thrown into a trial. And Kyoko even said, it's a trap the mastermind set for us. So that's why this has to be...
Okay, time's up!
Huh?
Time's up! Class trial's all over! Everyone can stop talking now!
What? Time's up?
What do you mean time's up? There's no time's up. Since when have we...
It's because you were late, so we had to push back the start time. So then, it's time for voting time, okay? Everyone, please vote using the lever in front of you!
Voting time?
A. We got an A. I mean, that didn't take long at all. That was the fastest trial yet. Although we probably got like 2 hours of dialogue after it. So, you know.
Now, who will be chosen as the blackened? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one?
Hey, hold on!
What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
Hey, you think I'm the killer? Sorry, man.
Sorry.
It's all your fault. Everyone, you're wrong. You've got it all wrong. I didn't do it.
Indeed. Yep.
They got it right. No, I know it's not true. None of this makes any sense. This whole trial doesn't make any sense.
Hey.
It makes perfect sense. It's the same as always. It's just like all the other class trials, and I'm gonna end it the same way. It's time for your heart-pounding, positively thrilling punishment. Wait, why do I... Kyoko.
I don't expect you to forgive me. I know this is all my fault.
Kyoko?
Let's give it everything we've got! It's punishment time!
Okay. Well, this is interesting. I am dying. Okay. This doesn't seem like a normal punishment. Just on a conveyor belt? A permanent account. After school lesson? I fell down a pit? Huh? What's going on? Hey, what was that? Yeah, it had to be alter ego? Alter ego? Is this some stupid virus from that stupid guy? He must have planted it when he invaded my network. Damn it all to hell, I don't believe this. It seems you finally made a miscalculation. No, you miscalculated from the very beginning. What the heck? What was that?
In other words...
What I'm saying is you shouldn't have underestimated us. Well, why are you talking like you already won? I barely felt a thing. It was a pinch, an itch. The stupid virus is gone now, got it? And so is Makoto. Maybe I didn't get to smash him flat, but you're never gonna see him again. To waste away in a garbage-strewn pit, in a way, that's an even better special punishment. But it's still not enough. I'm still not satisfied. I'm still gonna bring despair to the rest of you. Bring despair to the entire world! Is he gone? Hey, Kyoko, what's the meaning of all this? Just what the hell is going on?
Calm down.
It's okay. We're not the ones being trapped this time. Huh?
In other words...
Now it's the mastermind that's ensnared.
What
are
did
you
you say?
talking about?
So...
You'll understand soon enough. Very soon, indeed. There's a bad alternate ending if you expose Kyoko. Okay. So we avoided it. Nice. The massive high school towers all over all the other buildings in this bustling urban area. It's like the school stands at the center of the entire world. Hope's Peak Academy. It brings in top students from every field imaginable, a government-funded school of privilege. They say if you come here and manage to graduate, you'll be set for life. With hundreds of years of tradition, since the cream of the crop in the world that we've had, this was the beginning of the game. It was built to raise hope in the nation's future, which makes Hope's Peak a pretty fitting name. There are two things you need to attend this school. One, you have to already be attending high school. Two, you have to be the very best at what you do. No ordinary student could enroll here. The only way in is if you're scouted by the school itself. And standing there at the gate of the ultimate school, filled with the ultimate students, was me. Eh? What? Where am I? I woke up with my head resting on top of a hard wooden desk. My body felt heavy. It wouldn't be weird for me to zonk out in the middle of some boring class or whatever, but what was I doing asleep here just now? It wasn't any classroom I've ever seen before. What the heck is going on? Yes. Finally. Chapter 5, Time Unknown. I could finally feel my mind and body start to come back together again, and then I was awake. Or was this just another dream? A dream inside a hopeless nightmare? No, this isn't a dream. I could tell because the stench invaded my nostrils was too powerful for a dream. What an awful smell. I was in a vast, dark cavern with the barest hint of light seeping in. Trash was piled high across the area. This must be some kind of underground garbage pit. A heck of a situation to find myself in, but that was just the beginning of my problems. Was I going to be stuck in here till I wasted away and died? No, I can't let that happen. Not after what my good friend went through to save me. I remembered all too well what had happened. Alter Ego saved me. And he used up the last little bit of his strength to do it. So I can't give up now. For myself and for my friend. And with that, my pursuit of survival began. First up was to start looking for a way out of here. Oh, cool. We get to look for a way out of here. Well, let's look in this pile of junk. Probably the one I fell down here on. How did I not die? That's a rocket in a tank? I better not think too much about what I'm seeing down here. That's an airplane? How did something like that wind up in the school's garbage pit? I guess we're supposed to probably look at the door. Like, the most obvious exit is the door, right? Rattle, rattle. It's locked. Rattle, rattle. No matter how many times I pushed or kicked or pulled it at it, it didn't budge. Getting out of here isn't going to be that easy. Well, if I'm not getting out of here anytime soon, I decided to look around for some food. There's plenty of food in here, but it's all rotten. Gross. But that was pointless too. Next, I searched for some water. How can I be sure which liquids I can drink, and which ones are all around bad idea? Again, pointless. I feel like I'm blocked in on all sides. Probably smell them, but that's just not enough reason to give up because I'm still alive. As long as I'm alive, I'll never give up. After making that proud declaration, the next thing I decided to do was go to sleep. My sleep was deep and uninterrupted. That was my only way to preserve what little strength I had left after not being able to eat or drink. I can't be sure, but I think at least a full day had passed. And all I did was sleep and sleep. It was like I was waiting for some kind of sign to come falling out of the sky. However, what fell from the sky wasn't a sign. Not exactly. Maybe it was a sign, like a literal sign. What the? A strange sound pierced my silent isolation, jarring me awake. As I watched, the pile of garbage jostled and formed an odd shape. Did something fall down over there? Something fell from above. What could it have been? It's trash. It might be good trash, though. Did a giant piece of trash just fall down here? It looks like a lot of trash. I carefully stretched my hand out toward whatever it was that had tumbled down here with me. Am I blind now?
Just a second.
A giant piece of trash? Rude. Before she even emerged from the pile of garbage, I knew who it was.
It smells awful.
Oh, she's got a cup of noodles on her head. That's quite that look. The hat. Yoko, you look like you're doing better than I expected. Well, what are you doing here? Isn't obvious? I'm here to help you. Glad to hear that, Kyoko. You got a bit of garbage in your hair. She gave her head a quick, sharp shake to get rid of the trash and then faced me again. Oh, there goes her hat. First, I have something for you. Go ahead and eat it. We can talk once you've finished. Nom 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 nom. Thank you. Okay, let's up the food counter now. I snatched the bread and water that she was holding out for me. Within seconds, it was in my mouth and making its way toward my stomach. I think that's the second time that we've officially said we ate in the game. Whew, that just really hit the spot. Now I've got all the energy I need to keep going. So you still haven't given up then? Of course not. After all, the fact that I can keep going forward is about all I'm good at. Well, that's not such a bad thing to be good at. Alright, I mean, I guess we talked to her. But Kyoko, why'd you come to rescue me? To pay a debt, or no, to atone. Atone? During the trial, even though you knew I was lying, you didn't say anything. So you knew that I knew.
Indeed.
But even though I knew, I did nothing to help you. I abandoned you. Don't say that. You didn't abandon me. No, that's exactly what I did. I abandoned you in order to save my own life. You were trying to save me, and I couldn't bring myself to do the same for you.
However...
But listen, not that I'm trying to make excuses, but there was a reason that I had to survive, no matter what the cost. Why did you have to survive?
It's true.
I'll tell you everything. The reason I have to survive,
in other words,
is so that I can do what I came to do to the school to do. What? I made my mind to come to Hope's Peak Academy for one very important reason. So you have some reason for coming to Hope's Peak?
Indeed.
That's right, at least I did once. Once? Until recently, I'd forgotten what it was. You forgot, but that's... Amnesia? Then, is it really true you lost your memory?
Makoto.
You do remember, Makoto. Do you remember the first thing that happened to each of us as soon as we arrived at the school? The first thing? You're talking about when we fainted, right? I fainted, and when I woke up, I was trapped here.
That's right.
I fainted too, and when I woke up, I noticed a strange feeling of separation within myself, a disconnect. Thinking back on it now, at that point, my memory was gone. At that time, I'd forgotten. I couldn't remember why I'd come to the school, and I couldn't remember what my ultimate ability was. But what would make you forget all that?
Hey.
Strange, isn't it? It's hard to imagine it happened by chance. It seems much too convenient. Are you saying you think you lost your memory because... I don't think. I'm positive it was the work of the mastermind. They stole my memory. But why would they want to do that? There's only one reason I can come up with. Because of my purpose and my ability. Somehow they would interfere with the mastermind's plans. So the mastermind just stole them from you?
However...
And it could also mean somehow my memories may be connected to the mystery of the school and the mastermind, which is why I have to get them back. That's why I've been investigating things by myself this whole time. But if what you say is true, why didn't you ask the rest of us to help you?
Why is that?
If I did that, and we all worked as one, the mastermind would have noticed right away. Plus, there's always the chance that the mastermind is actually one of us. What?
Correct.
Well, don't make too big of a deal of it. It's just a possibility. But since it is a possibility, we can't ignore it, right? The mastermind? One of us? If she believed that, then of course she couldn't trust anyone around her. In which case, it only makes sense that she would look into her missing memory by herself.
However...
That being said, there was a limit to what I could do by myself, which is why I asked you to help me. But why me? Because among everyone, you were least likely to be the mastermind. It was just intuition, but I see. Your intuition was right, though. There's no way an ordinary kid like me could have been the mastermind.
I understand.
I do?
I should understand everything. My goal isn't to get out of here. It's to stay here.
It's just like the dream I had before, but why did that just happen?
Listen.
Are you okay? Oh yeah, it's nothing. It is nothing, right?
Hey.
Even now, I still trust you, you know. It's just, I'm not used to relying on others.
Correct.
I know I never ask you for help the right way, so I understand if you're not convinced. Honestly, I was convinced. I think that's just her personality. Alright, I'm gonna take a break. Now's a good time to take a break, right? We'll save, and I'll take a quick break. And maybe we can get to the end of this chapter. I knew there was gonna be more. Like, I had no doubt there was gonna be more after the trial. That was a really short trial. A short trial that I got convicted and told I was the murderer when I wasn't the murderer. It was a setup. It was a setup, probably to get rid of me. It was either a setup to get rid of me or to out Kyoko. One of the two. I think it was to get rid of one of us. Anyway, I'm going to take a quick break. You can watch Tucker, who's in bed right now. That's Tucker, the little computer people Tucker. And Claire is in the chair as well. You can watch them both. She looks pretty out of it. She looks pretty out of it. But I'll be right back. I am back. Tucker's not very exciting when he's in bed. He just lays in bed. Yeah, Claire did follow me. I think she thought I was gonna give her some food. Or something, I don't know. Alright, what do we do? Do we talk to her more? You said you had a reason for doing all the investigating on your own. So how'd that turn out? Were you able to remember anything? I think there's still a lot I don't remember, but at the very least, I was finally able to recall my purpose and my ability. You mentioned your ability. My ability, what everyone should have known me for, is I'm the ultimate detective. I figured she was something like that. The ultimate detective? Correct. And the reason I came to Hope Peak Academy was there was someone I had to find here in the school. You had to find someone? Who?
So...
Well, it was the headmaster of Hope Peak Academy. The headmaster? Why did you want to find the headmaster? Because he's my father. What?
In other words...
I was separated from him as a child. As it turns out, he became the headmaster of Hope's Peak. Kyoko's dad is Hope Peak's headmaster? And that explains when Alter Eagle told us he thought the headmaster was involved. I'll find a way.
That's a twist I didn't see coming.
No matter what it takes, I'll find the headmaster, no matter the cost.
So,
See, that was a while ago. That flashback, I think, is relevant. That was a while ago. My memory hadn't come back at that point, but when he said that, I felt strange. Makes perfect sense now, of course, since my whole purpose of coming here was to find him. That makes sense.
However...
But listen, Makoto, I want to make this perfectly clear so there's no misunderstanding. I said the headmaster wasn't the mastermind, but I didn't say that to protect him. I only said what I felt based on what I've seen when I snuck into the headmaster's room. Then, what did you see in there?
So...
The room had been ransacked. The shelves were a mess, the desk drawers dumped on the floors. The only conclusion is that someone who didn't know where anything had been in there. Such a weird word. Okay, yeah, I know what they're saying. Just a weird English. You mean the mastermind, right?
It's true.
That was my assumption, yes, and to confirm my suspicion, I decided to investigate the second floor of the dorms using the key I'd found. But why there? Because I also found this in the headmaster's room. This is some kind of map?
Indeed.
It's a layout of the entirety of Hope's Peak Academy. I found it in the headmaster's room along with Makuro's profile and that key. The map showed that the second floor was home to a number of rooms meant for faculty use. Some of the staff must have had to stay overnight from time to time, and I figured the headmaster would have some kind of private room there. I assumed that if that were true, the room would likely hold more clues, so I went to check.
Correct.
And that's when I finally remembered. I remembered that my purpose was to find the owner of that room. So you went there to see if the headmaster really did have a private room there?
However...
But once I got there, I noticed that the second floor of the dorms didn't have any cameras or monitors. So what was it like? That part of the school, I mean? It's hard to describe. All I can say is, the moment that I saw it, I realized whatever's going on in the school is more horrific than we ever imagined. What do you mean?
So...
I can't explain it. You need to see it for yourself, and I'm sure you'll get your chance soon enough. Sounds like it must be important. And really ominous.
However...
Of course. Which is why I had no idea what was going on in the rest of the building. That has to do with, Makuro, doesn't it?
However...
Just to be perfectly clear, I didn't kill her. And I know it wasn't you either. I know you're right, but that just means everyone but you and me had an alibi, so then who did kill her?
Anyway...
What I can say for sure is that the mastermind is directly involved. Yeah, obviously. To begin with, the point of the class trial of Mikuru was to get me killed. To get you killed?
Indeed.
I stole that key and disappeared. In retaliation, they wanted to draw me out and eliminate me. That was the point of the class trial. It was? The mastermind knew they couldn't interfere directly. You mean because of the school regulations?
That's right.
Exactly.
In other words...
The mastermind is adamant about following the rules, and with that rule in place, they couldn't step in. Since they couldn't kill me themselves, they tried to use the class trial to do it. The mastermind couldn't step in because of the rules? That makes it sound like the mastermind themselves is somehow bound by the school regulations. Hey. There's one other thing I'd like to point out about the murder of Makuru. What's that? There was a point where Makuro may not have been the victim. Could have been you, Makoto. Could have been... I could have been the victim? You know what I'm talking about, right? Do you mean... during the night? I can hear them, you know. The footsteps of the god of death. What? I can hear the god of death as he moves. The ability naturally draws me into cases just like this. Which is exactly what happened with you. I was in the dorms, and I had a sudden sense of dread. I looked down the stairwell, and I saw a white shadow cross the corridor. I gave chase right away. As I followed it, I saw the shadow go into your room.
Correct.
I ran into your room, and I saw what was happening. I intervened immediately, of course.
However...
That wasn't the end of things, of course. Your thoughts on the game so far? I stopped them, but that led to whoever the master assailant was, they ended up dead.
Correct.
And their murder was disguised, and the dojo key wound up in my room. It was all the work of the mastermind, in an attempt to use the class trial to eliminate me. So all this would mean that whoever killed Makuru is also the mastermind, right? I don't have conclusive evidence, but that's what I think. But that's really bad if true. That means the mastermind can kill whoever they want if they feel like it. Hey, doesn't that create another contradiction? The mastermind wanted to use the class trial to try to kill you because they couldn't interfere, right?
Correct.
You're right, that is a contradiction. But that's not just Makuro. They needed the class trial to kill me, but seemed ready to kill you in your room. Everything they did is a contradiction. So what does it all mean?
In other words...
It means that the mastermind is the one who's been cornered. Huh?
Makoto.
Just a little more. A little more, and we should be able to figure out the mastermind's identity. The identity of the other ultimate despair. The other ultimate despair? There's no doubt that Makuro was the ultimate despair, and that she's dead. But I don't think that the ultimate despair is just one person. It's not.
Indeed.
If you think about it, the ultimate despair seems to implicate whoever caused that event. You're talking about what happened a year ago, the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. The tragedy, who's ever responsible for that? They're the ultimate despair. The despicable group whose only purpose and motivation comes from despair. Then make no mistake, they're the root of all evil that has forced us to go through this. That is the ultimate despair. The worst event in human history ever. I know, I find some people being killed at the school being the worst event in human history. Yeah. No. And that is our real enemy. Hey, we just finished chapter 5. What the heck? This game is jank. That was unexpected. I did not expect to finish chapter 5. I got... Okay, that kind of looks inappropriate. I thought there was a lot less yammering than I expected. The ultimate despair. A group of people who caused a tragedy 1 year ago. Those same people put together this killing game and began broadcasting it around the world. Most desperately awful group of people ever. That is the mastermind's true identity. Our enemy has finally been revealed. But right now we have to get out of this horrible place. Figuring out the rest of the story can come after. Yeah, you're right. We have a way to open this door. Do you still have that one thing? Monokuma's secret tool that you got from the headmaster's room?
Indeed.
Of course I do. Then it's absolutely a vital part of ensnaring the mastermind. I would never part with it. And you can open any door in the school, right?
That's right.
Then we should be able to use it on that door, right? Hey, Kyoko, we can use that key of yours to open this door, right?
It's true.
Let's find out. Check out the key. And then, click! Wow, we're so smart. Yes, it opened.
Indeed.
And now we can get out of here. Let's go. Sounds good. We quickly opened the door and made our escape from the garbage pit. Finally. We were finally free. But there wasn't even time to take a breath of relief because the real fight had just begun. Ultimate pain, ultimate suffering, ultimate despair, ultimate execution, ultimate death. That's what this chapter's called. After leaving the garbage pit, we found ourselves in a tunnel extending straight up like a chimney. There was a metal ladder leading up to the tunnel. We started climbing the ladder, intent on reaching the surface. Started climbing the ladder. Yeah, but the ladder was impossibly long and I couldn't even see where it ended. Interesting angle to pick for the view of us climbing the ladder. I will say that right now. We climbed into the darkness. The passage was so dark and cramped I couldn't even see my own feet beneath me. I had no idea where we were so far down. Don't lose your footing. If you slip, I won't be able to catch you. Yeah, I'll be careful. Now that I said that, I'm getting kind of nervous. Maybe talking will help ease my mind. So, Kyoko, there's something I wanted to ask you. You said you were the ultimate detective, right? So, how long have you been doing detective work? How long?
So...
Ever since I can remember. I came from a long line of detectives. Detective work is in my blood. There was a time when being a detective was considered a sacred duty. My family's always seen that. Yeah, so my father was a detective. My father before him was a detective. My father before him was a detective. Then, is your family famous?
Wrong.
Quite the opposite, actually. Even among actual detectives, many people haven't heard of us. Huh? But how come? It's like your family tradition, right? So, because we take pride in it. Pride.
Indeed.
A detective is neither light nor shadow. Yeah, we only marry detectives. Keep the line pure. We represent neither justice nor evil. This is how we can uncover the absolute truth. We stand neutral in all things, and to do that, we have to stand separate from the rest of society, which is why we made a conscious effort to conceal our existence. A conscious effort.
It's true.
Kind of old-fashioned, and it's kind of old-fashioned. I can't say it's entirely rational, but it's our family creed, and we do what we must do to protect it. Because, like I said, it's our source of pride. Pride. So that explains it. Before I came here, when I was looking up info about the school online, I never saw anything about her because she hid herself on purpose to protect the pride of her family.
However...
And yet, I gave up some of that pride. Huh? In order to enter Hope's Peak, I had to reveal myself to the school. I did it knowing it was something a true Kirigiri detective would never do. But the reason you gave up that pride, the reason you would go so far to enter Hope's Peak, it was because that's how much you wanted to reconnect with your dad, right? There's no shame in that.
What?
Reconnect? I had absolutely no desire to reconnect with my father. Huh? But you'd be reuniting after all these years, right? You would have had so much to talk about.
Wrong.
There's nothing I want to talk to my father about.
However...
There's something I want to say to him, though. What? No matter what it takes, I have to find him and tell him face to face. What is it?
So...
I want to sever all ties with him. Sever? I know, I said it was an interesting angle. The last time I saw him, I was still very young, so I don't remember myself, but apparently he was extremely intelligent. He was in line to become the next head of the Kirigiri family. He was talented, he had a promising future, but he had no interest in detective work, so he cut himself out of the family. Not long after that, my mother died, and he simply ran away. He went to my grandfather, and they had a huge argument. And young as I was, he left me behind. I'm sure there was a reason for that. I'm sure your dad wanted to take you with him.
Right.
If that's true, then I need to thank him. Thank him for leaving me, because unlike him, I take pride in the work I do. I take pride in my family name, and every last part of me is happy he didn't take me with him. If I'd gone with him, I would never have had the chance to become a detective. I was above Kyoko on the ladder, so I wasn't able to see her expression. So I couldn't see how she looked when she said that, what she might have been feeling. All I could tell was that, compared to her usual self, she was much more talkative and more emotional. I don't blame him, you know. He had his own life to live. That's what anyone in my position might say, right? But it's not true. But there's one thing that I can never forgive. Really? Why didn't they do this? Why didn't they do this at the end of chapter 5 instead of the beginning of chapter 6, I'm wondering. Really?
So...
The way everyone else looked at me, I was never sad about being left behind, like I said. I think it was a good thing.
However...
But when the rest of my family looked at me, they saw something different. They only saw me as the little girl that was abandoned by her father. That's how they see me even to this day. His shadow has been following me my entire life. I'm sick of it. I need him out of my life. I need to step out of his shadow. That's why I have to find him and tell him we're no longer family in order to settle the past, in order to remove him from my life forever. I have no doubt he forgot about me years ago. But your family, to just cut him out like that. Our only connection is through blood, nothing more. We were connected. Are we connected by heart and soul? No. This blood, is blood really enough to call someone family? Only connected by blood, not by heart or soul. I was so shocked to hear her say something like that. I didn't know how to respond. So instead, I said nothing. I just kept climbing the ladder in complete silence. And after I don't know how long, we finally reached the top. It's my butt. Looks like this is it. On the other side of this door, Hope's Peak is waiting for us. We're back.
That's right.
Remember that hatch on the ground near the trash room? I'm fairly certain that's where we'll come out. I unlocked it earlier, so it should open without much trouble. Well, here goes nothing. I reached my right hand up and pushed against the hatch. The hatch opened with ease, and so... Looks like we're back. But I can't believe how long that ladder was. I'm exhausted. I can't exactly say we're safe and sound, but at least we're out of there. Now we're back at Hope's Peak Academy. Kyoko, thank you. I never would have gotten out of there without you. No, thanks necessary. I was just returning the favor. Is there a camera in here? So what do we do now? I'm glad I didn't die, of course, but if the mastermind finds out, and I'm worried about it, that you too, you help me, so they might...
Listen.
You're worried? Yeah, of course.
So
Then let's get a concrete answer, huh?
in other words,
Let's ask Monokuma if there's a problem with you escaping. Wait, that's...
however,
If we try to hide, it's only a matter of time till we're found out, and it's not like we can run away. As she said that, she pointed at the nearby surveillance camera. So, you're saying rather than stretching out over getting caught, we should just give up now? Don't worry. What you think is going to happen. What you think is going to happen isn't. Because the mastermind is the one that's ensnared. The mastermind is ensnared. You said something like that before. What does that mean?
so
Hey, Gregory. Yeah, I need to adjust it to not do that. Actually, the mastermind stood exposed during the investigation into Makuru's death. There was a moment where the mastermind let their guard down. It should count up to 99 and then maybe switch to days. There was...
right.
If we can talk to Monokuma, we can confirm it, and that'll be better for us if we go to him directly before he tracks us down. That should help with our negotiations. I'm still a little, super uneasy about this, but we don't really have a choice, do we? Monokuma should be in the gym.
Shall we go?
Let's get going. Okay, I guess we're going to the gym. Or the Gaim, as we call it. We have this door. This must be the second floor of the dorm. To the Gaim, to the Gaim. What's a Gaim? Oh, a Gaim.
Well now.
Kyoko, I don't mind so much.
Don't believe it!
But Makoto's supposed to be dead. What's he doing here? That's exactly how I thought he'd react. Are we really gonna be okay? You were supposed to be punished. Did Kyoko help you? So what if I did? What will you do? If the guilty party is exposed during the class trial, they alone will be executed. That's unfortunate, but that is the rule. So now I gotta punish you again, and this time I won't leave anything to chance. Kyoko! Do whatever you feel you have to. What?
However,
Before you do, let me just say one thing. If you execute Makoto, that means you lose. Not that that matters to you, right? Huh? I lose? You, explain yourself. What do you mean by that? Well, you set up this latest class trial yourself, right? I was getting in your way, so you wanted an excuse to kill me.
in other words,
I was supposed to be chosen as the blackened and then executed, right? Hey, what are you talking about?
however,
But when Makoto chose to overlook my lie, your plan came crashing down. The result of the trial weren't at all what you were expecting, because you never imagined that in that position, one person would protect another like that.
right.
And in response to that unexpected development, you reacted by proclaiming Makoto the blackened and trying to execute him. You made the choice out of desperation. No, more than that. You must have realized that Makoto, who refused to be manipulated, was a threat to you as well.
However...
But then there was another unexpected development waiting for you. The entity that would throw a wrench, so to speak, in your precious execution machinery, alter ego. You never imagined the possibility of a being that could come to our aid even after you killed it.
Am I wrong?
Now, here's the absolute truth. Makoto didn't kill Makuru. You did.
Listen to me.
So executing Makoto for it would surely be a violation of your rules, which I know you love so much. If the blackened is exposed, they alone will be executed. That's what you told us, right? And that means I lose? You talk a big game. You're saying the blackened is me and not Makoto.
Well?
And you can prove this, right?
Well...
No, I can't. Don't just say it like that. What is this, a comedy routine to make such bold claims without a shred of evidence?
That doesn't matter.
I don't have any right now. With a little more time, I guarantee I'll find some.
That's right.
Because no matter how deeply you try to bury it, there is only ever one absolute truth. And now you're trying to talk like some kind of famous detective type.
Because...
If Makoto really was the killer, he would never have come to you willingly like this. He would have feared for his life, feared another execution. He would have tried to run and hide. He would have been gripped by the despair you love so to inspire.
However...
But here we are, confronting you with nothing but hope in our hearts. And that's supposed to be enough to convince me in the absence of evidence?
Indeed.
It's not you I'm trying to convince.
Hey.
If you were to execute Makoto now, everyone out there watching this would be extremely displeased. Huh?
Indeed.
Imagine what everyone out there would think if you killed Makoto. They would assume that you killed him because what we said is exactly right.
Listen to me.
Despair can never kill hope.
Hey.
Of course, you can say we're just making this all up. You're welcome to prove us wrong. No, you have no choice but to prove it, because if you kill Makoto without proving your own innocence, you'll be accepting your own defeat. If you want to earn our despair, fair and square, then I suggest you take my advice. So, what is this advice of yours?
It's true.
To do Makuru's trial over again. Only this time, you follow the school regulations to ensure a fair trial. This time, it's time for one last showdown. One final battle between hope and despair. And she said it, and I said it at the same time. I didn't realize she was going to say it. Well, that would make for a proper climax, wouldn't you say? A fair trial, one last showdown. In other words, this would be our last chance to expose the true identity of Makuru's killer or of the mastermind themselves. But what reason would the mastermind have to accept the challenge? They'll probably just execute me without another word. Interesting.
Barrett!
Very interesting indeed. Barry. Hey, a pun.
What's wrong?
Oh, I was getting so bored, so I decided to change things up a little bit. So time for bear jokes. Now, what you've suggested might be plausible. It would certainly make for one honey of a climax.
In other words...
Does that mean you accept?
You guys!
If we do things your way, that'll be enough to convince you and the viewers, right? And it would cause you unbearable despair, right? Then I prepared to agree to your terms. Will your hope win out? Or will my despair claim victory?
I can barely contain
Let's have one
myself.
final grisly showdown. He agreed? Then we have a shot at this. Well, this is the long-awaited climax, right? Just guessing the killer is barely a fitting end. So for the real final face-off, you'll have to unearth all the mysteries that have been buried here. All the mysteries. That's right, every last mystery that's pawing around the school. If you can do that, then it'll be enough to qualify as a victory for you. My God.
It's true.
That's what we've been trying to do all along. Okay, well, good. Then let's bear it all. If you can claw your way to the truth of Makuro's death and solve the mysteries of the school,
You guys!
then you win. But if you can't do all of that, we'll all face execution, right? I can barely contain my excitement. When you learn the whole truth, what kind of despair will you show me? We're as excited as you are, I'm sure.
Listen to me.
When we've uncovered every last truth, how can the ultimate despair reveal their own despair? I honestly can't believe how this has all turned out. But before we get started, I want to clarify one more thing. Do you remember the rule? When one student kills another, that's when a class trial is held.
What's wrong?
I remember that. For sure. So what?
Hey.
I just want to confirm that is what you said, right? And that's a true statement. You don't have to be so suspicious. I've said it before, but it bears repeating. Everything is based on the school regulations, and having a trial for Makuru is no exception to that. Huh? His trial is no exception, then it's part of the regulations, which would have to mean that whoever killed Makuro... It's a very polarizing approach, I know, but okay, enough puns. Anyway, here's a hint. I'm sure I told you this already, but this killing game began with 16 participants, all of them high school students. And the only people to take a single step in Hope's Peak since the killing game began are those 16 students. What?
Listen.
Are you telling the truth? Why'd he go quiet all of a sudden?
Now I'm really...
I'm done talking. I've got nothing left to say to you. So get lost, would ya? Why so mad? He seems emotionally unstable. Leave me alone. Get out of here. Okay, I'm going. You're really gonna let me go. I don't even care anymore. You're all gonna get your punishment later anyway. Let me just start getting it ready. A super duper extra special punishment overflowing with despair. Yeah, exactly. That was a lot. You were adding on to the bear puns, Gregory. Come on, Makoto, let's go. Okay. Banakuma's unstable laughter seemed to cling to us as we walked away, and just like that, we were out of the Gaim. The Gaim lobby. I could hardly believe it, but somehow I ended up not getting executed. I still had my life, and we still had a chance. Overall, things turned out way better than I expected. I mean, if you expect to be squished by a thing and you don't get squished, maybe I'm the mastermind. Once again, I was in Kyoko's debt. Kyoko, thank you. Everything I have right now is because of you. Don't think me just yet. The real battle is still ahead of us. Yeah, true. But still, I'm glad it worked out. I wasn't sure if the enemy would accept my proposal. But honestly, why would the mastermind agree to that? I mean, they don't stand to gain anything from a final showdown, do they?
So...
They had no choice but to accept. Huh?
Because...
It's all because of that one moment that the mastermind let down their guard, like I said. So when was it that the mastermind let down their guard?
So...
I wasn't there to hear it myself, but do you remember what the mastermind said? They said that they had hijacked the airwaves to broadcast our school life to the outside world, right? Yeah, they definitely said that.
Listen.
And what did you think when you heard that? Pretty hard to believe, right? Well, I mean, the idea of actually taking over the airwaves seems so unbelievable.
Indeed.
You don't exactly read about something like that happening very often, so it's hard to imagine. In other words, that kind of thing is extremely difficult to pull off.
However,
And yet somehow the mastermind was able to do it.
in other words,
And think of it another way. There must have been some reason they had to do something that difficult. A reason?
so
They had to show the world something, no matter the cost. Us killing each other. They wanted to show the world.
it would seem
The mastermind has been very adamant about not killing us directly, but forcing us to kill each other. And all their rules and regulations were designed to encourage that. Yeah, that makes sense. If those stupid regulations didn't exist, nobody would have killed
in
anybody.
other words,
So the mastermind's ultimate goal was to make us kill each other and show that off to the world. But why?
correct.
To prove a point, most likely. Prove a point?
Hey,
The outside world has a name for the students of Hope's Peak Academy. The outside world has a name for the students of Hope's Peak Academy, right? A certain concept. You're talking about hope, right?
that's right.
And for those of us who represent hope, to kill each other and sink into despair. Claire is here. The mastermind wants the world to see that and try to prove that despair is better than hope. That's their goal, is the ultimate despair. What? They want to prove that despair is better than hope? But that's ridiculous. You're right, it is ridiculous, completely irrational. It's the kind of thing that nobody, but those who call themselves the ultimate despair, would devise. Claire's the true mastermind. The group whose only purpose and motivation comes from the despair. I mean, she is black and white. And I do call her a bear sometimes. Because it rhymes with Claire. The group whose only purpose and motivation comes from despair. But is that really their only reason for making the rest of us suffer? I know how angry it must make you, and yet that same motivation is what led to the mastermind revealing their weakness. What?
In other words,
Because their goal is to broadcast this killing game to the world. The mastermind has had to be more particular than is reasonable about their own regulations. If the mastermind simply ignored their rules, this wouldn't have been a game, but a one-sided slaughter.
at the very least,
At least that's how those who are watching this would have seen it. And that's why the mastermind couldn't kill any of us themselves.
indeed.
That is precisely the reason. No matter how much they may hate what I'm doing, I haven't violated a single one of their regulations. Junko broke the rules, so she was punished. But in my case, they couldn't lay a finger on me.
Right.
So instead, they tried to use the class trial, following all their proper rules, to get me killed. They began a trial that didn't have a right answer, then made me out to be the killer. But even that didn't work.
It's true.
Yes, thanks to you, and due to that failure, the mastermind took yet another risk. They attempted to kill you instead, who also was not the killer. When that fact was exposed on live TV to the entire outside world, the mastermind had to accept your suggestion.
Indeed.
To prove to the world that despair is better than hope, they have to defeat us in perfect form.
In other words,
It would only do the mastermind harm to have it shown that they violated their own regulations. But all of that was a hunch, right? And you were still able to get the mastermind to accept your challenge. Well, it's only thanks to you that we got the chance, because you believed in me. Another path opened up. Still, I can't believe how much of the mastermind's thoughts and plans you were able to figure out. I didn't have the slightest clue.
wrong.
In the end, though, I couldn't prove any of it. It was just my reasoning. Essentially, I was making a bet. But it looks like I got it right, this time at least. I won the bet. She let out a quick sigh. I took it as a small sign of relief. To be honest, I haven't been that nervous in a long time. I totally couldn't tell you were nervous at all. You seemed totally confident from the moment we decided to go to talk to him. Well, presenting a strong demeanor is a fundamental part of negotiation and persuasion, wouldn't you say? Plus, if I showed my uneasiness, that would have just made you that much more uneasy. Yeah, you're probably right. How pathetic.
However,
Anyway, we can't relax just yet. All we've done is earn another chance to fight. We have to win this time.
Correct.
Or everything we've gone through will have been for nothing. You're right. If we can't defeat the mastermind, it'll cost us our lives. There is no option except to win.
Hey.
Well, before we begin the final battle, we have to tell the others what's going on. True. But now we know who our real enemy is. All we have to do now is work together with everyone to destroy the mastermind. Work together with everyone.
However...
Is that really possible? Huh?
Anyway,
right now we have to find the others.
Shall we go?
They're probably in the dorm somewhere. Shall we go? Alright. Anything else I can talk to you about? Okay, I guess we're going. Claire, we're going. Claire's still on my lap. Let's freak someone out. And suddenly we were greeted with... You again. Is he broken? I suppose his emotional instability reached its limits. Okay. Jeez, what the heck?
However...
I wonder what that was all about. I couldn't help but let out a sign of relief. Ah!
Is that Makoto?
Hey, look! It's the gang of dinguses. It's the Dingus Gang. The Dingus Gang reunites. What you buy?
You guys!
It is! There's no two ways about it. That's Makoto.
You survived?
Jeez, you're like a stubborn little cockroach, you know that?
I'm just asking to make sure, but you're not a ghost, right?
Everyone was there, all my friends who had struggled together and survived. Wait, we're calling these people our friends? Okay. I don't know about, especially the two on this side. As soon as I saw their faces, I couldn't help myself. I started to tear up.
What?
Wait, what's that smell?
What the heck?
Yeah, man, that seriously stinks. It's Makoto. He smells like a wet dog. Get away. And in a flash, my tears dried up. All right, now let's talk to
Makoto.
There's no time to indulge in a happy reunion. We need to explain to everyone what happened.
Yes.
Explain what? But is it okay that you're here? What if the mastermind catches you?
It's true.
That's related to what we have to tell you all. We need to tell you all about the last class trial. The last class trial? We're going to redo Makuru's trial.
Huh?
What? Seriously?
How about that?
What's the point of redoing it? Makoto killed her, right? No, I didn't do it. Like I keep telling you.
Wrong.
Makoto isn't the killer, and of course it's not me or any of you. Then who is it?
I see.
What she's saying is it was all the work of the mastermind. What? You're saying the mastermind killed Makuro?
That's right.
That's right. It was all an elaborate trap contrived by the mastermind. Makoto spotted the trap in time and did what he had to do to stop it. Had to stop it. Had to stop it. What he had to stop it. Okay, I guess that actually does make sense.
However...
But his decision meant that he would be the one to die. You spotted the trap, did you, Makoto? You make it sound like it was easy. I just, you know.
However...
But executing Makoto, who wasn't the Blackened, is a clear violation of school regulations. The rules state that only the Blackened is to be executed. The mastermind broke their own rules, which is why I went and negotiated with them to have the trial one more time.
Huh?
And the mastermind agreed? Does that mean they really did break the rules? They had no choice but to agree. You used the TV broadcast to gain the leverage you needed, didn't you?
Correct.
Very observant of you.
Naturally.
I recall what you said at the end of the last trial, when you said now it's the mastermind that's ensnared. That's what you were referring to.
Don't be mean.
Hey, I'm totally in the dark here. For anyone who doesn't understand, you can ask Kyoko to explain it again later. So knowing all of this, what do we do now?
About that.
It's about who killed Mukuro, right? It's our job to expose the mastermind. But there's more to it than that, correct? Yeah. For us to win this time, we have to solve every last mystery surrounding the school. Every last mystery? Like, why? What's that stain on the floor over there? But we've been looking around all this time and we still don't know anything, right?
Anyway.
You probably guessed already, but if we lose this time, everyone dies. Everyone? Hey, who said you could agree to those terms without talking to the rest of us? I'm fine with things the way they are. I'm fine living here forever with Master. I meanwhile, want to get out of here as soon as humanly possible. Anyway, at this point, the only way for us to survive is to unravel the truth. In other words, one decisive final battle. A rather interesting development, I'd say. But figuring out who the mastermind is and how they killed Mukuro and all the school's mysteries, it's a pretty tall friggin' order. Maybe this time the trial is different. We know who our enemy is now. So if we work together and search as hard as we can, I'm sure we'll solve all those mysteries. I'm not so sure about that. Huh? I can't agree with the idea of working together with everyone. You can't agree? Why not? I mean, working together with everyone seems like the most obvious way to solve all the mysteries. That's what I thought too, at first. Until Monokuma gave us that one little hint. That one little hint of his. Hint?
I see.
Monokuma said that, did he? Then Kyoko's opinion is perfectly reasonable. Huh? But why?
So in other words,
if the mastermind really is the one who killed Mukuro, as Kyoko says, then the mastermind would have had to set foot in this school, right? Monokuma could probably murder Mukuro, but there's no way he could have disguised the scene like that.
In other words.
But according to Monokuma, the only people who have set foot in Hope's Peak are the 16 students who have been taking part in the killing game. Then the mastermind is... There were 15 of us in the main hall at the very beginning. Add in Mukuro, and we get 16. So the mastermind would have been one of them?
That's right.
And of those 16 people we started with, the only ones still alive are the people standing right here. Need I continue, or do you get it now? You're saying the mastermind is one of us?
No way!
You can't be serious. Wait. We can't say for sure that's true yet. Monokuma might have just said all that to confuse us. It's certainly a possibility, but only one among many. The mastermind being one of us is also a possibility. And that is one possibility we can't ignore. Yeah, I mean, they're an ultimate, right? The ultimate despair, so they must be a high schooler. You can't say it's not possible. But if one of us was the mastermind, they'd have to be controlling Monokuma somehow, right? But do you ever see anyone acting suspicious anytime Monokuma was active? Maybe they snuck off and controlled him in secret. I don't care how sneaky you are. We would have noticed someone sneaking off that many times.
I'm right?
So maybe Monokuma was on autopilot. Maybe they loaded up all the dialogue and actions beforehand. In that case, there's no way we could have had all those back and forth conversations with with us. Well, it wouldn't be entirely impossible if they directed the flow of the conversation. Well, maybe, but still. Ding dong bang bong! Is this the nighttime announcement?
This is a school announcement.
Oh, this is different.
You've all probably figured this out by now, but at this point, the killing game has now entered true ending mode.
True ending mode?
So, in the name of fairness, I will unlock every room in the school. Look wherever you want. Solve the mystery in whatever way you see fit. Then we can all meet up at the class trial, okay?
How very magnanimous of him to unlock all the rooms.
That's fine.
The time for talk is done. Now we need to begin our investigation. But I was planning on working alone from the beginning anyway.
In the name of
At
my
this
family.
point, I can rely only on myself, on the Tagami blood flowing through my veins. But I have no time to worry about the rest of you. Each of you must uphold your responsibility. Well then, after making his final statement, Byakuya left the dining hall. God, Master! He didn't take me with him.
Hey.
Do you blame him? Without Master, the rest of you are like coffee with cream without the cream, or coffee. You're totally useless. So bye. With that, Toko trudged out of the dining hall, and now she's gone. That's good. And you're gonna go off by yourself, right, Kyoko?
Indeed.
That's right. Which just leaves Makoto, Hina, and me.
You know?
In that case, I'm gonna go by myself too.
Just a second.
Wait, how come?
How about that?
Just wait and see. I'm gonna use my totally awesome spirit power to figure out the mastermind's identity. Laughing loud, Hiro left the dining hall. Everyone's really gonna go off by themselves? What about you, Hina? I guess I'll do the same thing. I mean, it's not that I don't trust everyone, you know? But up till now, I haven't really been all that useful. I just depend on Sakura and everyone else. You're not useless. If you hadn't been here, I would have died. Makoto? It's really nice of you to say. Still, I know I've been totally useless, so I figured at least here at the end, maybe I can find something that'll help us get out of here. So I'm gonna go off and do it all on my own. Okay, see you later. Hina was in surprisingly high spirits as she jazzed out of the dining hall. And once again, it was just us two. Indeed. So you're gonna go off on your own too, right?
However...
Well, don't misunderstand. Just because we're going to do our searches separately doesn't mean we can't still work together. That goes for all of us. I think I see what you mean. Doing our own investigating doesn't mean we can't work together in the end. I should just see it as a splitting up to cover more ground. And then we get back together and share what we found. Yeah, that's right.
So then...
Well, we better get going. I have an endless list of things I need to check. Said all the doors of the school had been unlocked, right? So we should be able to investigate every nook and cranny of the school. We can visit all the places we couldn't go before. No matter what it takes, we have to uncover the truth. By any means necessary. With that, she was gone, leaving only me. I don't have time to waste either. I have to begin my search. I still can't believe the mastermind might be one of us. So that's what I have to prove. I'll have to prove that the mastermind isn't one of us. I'll expose the mastermind's true identity and solve the mystery of the school. And then we can all escape together. Alright, now we're in investigate mode. I guess I'll start by taking another look at the file. Due to the explosion, the victim's identity is unknown. They were, however, dead before the blast. The victim had been stabbed a single time with a knife. They also been struck in the head with an object. Body was covered with other wounds. Once we find out who killed, then we should know who the mastermind is. So where should I start my investigation to figure out who killed her? I guess I should start with the rooms that were locked up until now. The headmaster rooms, the bio lab, and the data room. Oh, and the second floor of the dorms where the gate was down before. That should be open now too, right? After that, I'll double check the areas that are connected to the murder, which means the garden and the dojo. I should write all that down. Just in case I forget. They basically told me where to go. So headmaster's office, Headmaster, Chem Lab, data center, and second floor dorm. I was gonna go to the second floor of the dorm first. Oh, I guess they made a list, or they made our list. Okay. Well, I know where that is. See, this door's open. Yeah. The gate's open. We can finally check out the second floor of the dorms, which means I have to do it. Let's go. Oh man, this is the second floor of the dorms. It looks like some ancient ruins, or no, it's more like a battlefield, like a bomb blew up here or something. Do. We got a bedroom here we can go in, I guess. Ooh, looks pretty crappy. Bed is completely torn apart. It means it's not even a bed anymore, it's just garbage. I opened the door just a crack, glanced inside, and immediately closed it again. There wasn't even a hint of a bathroom, just a big pile of rubble. Oh, there's something over here too. Oh, it's the door out. That's it? That's all I found in here? Nothing else? Wow, okay. Literally nothing. We have some bathrooms. Okay, whatever. I think we can go into the bathroom. Nothing to see. Nothing to see here, apparently. These bathrooms look way nicer. I will say that. Ooh, this looks ominous. It's got a giraffe with, oh, I thought there's just a giraffe in a locker. That's a nice little drawing. This looks less appealing. This room is filled with lockers. It must be from the Hope's Peak students who came before us. The class before ours must have used these lockers. The evil class? Alright, I guess we click everything. There's a metal plate mounted to the locker. I don't really want to know what's inside, but there's no way. I can't imagine any way to get this locker open. I'm not even going to try to bother to try. Well, this one looks intact. Or if I can open this locker. Rattle, rattle. Nope, locked. There's a card reader installed on the door. Must be how you get the locker open. After all, it's pretty similar to the card readers for the locker rooms on the second floor of the school. And you have to use your e-handbook to open those up. So does that mean, well, let's just give it a try. I took my handbook and ran it across the card reader, and then, no luck. Maybe only the locker's owner can open it, which means none of us can do that. Okay. Alright, I need an e-handbook then. Alright, that's what we need. I guess maybe we'll find a locker that's ours. That would be weird, wouldn't it? I mean, it's possible one of these, because those pictures we saw, If it's the last one, I'm gonna be so mad. Okay, none of them work. Or I just missed one and I'm gonna be upset. Doesn't look like they work though. Alright, let's leave. I think we need to find something else to deal with that. And there's something at the end of this hallway too. Ooh, this place looks nice. This room doesn't feel like a student's room. It's more like a more adult atmosphere. It's a headmaster's private room. I didn't know you were following me! Kyoko!
Indeed.
I've been through this room several times already, but I still have one little regret, so I decided to check it out one more time. Huh? A regret? Explain. Please explain. She almost looks meek right now. She must be thinking about something. I probably shouldn't bother her. Okay. Alright, I won't bother her. Let's check out this computer. There's a PC on the desk. That must have belonged to the headmaster.
It would seem...
Whoever used this last, it looks like they were very interested in the ultimate despair. The PC still has some search results left on it. And then we might be able to get some more information.
However,
there's not much though. Nothing we don't already know.
In other words,
the ultimate despair isn't one individual, but instead points to some group. The group is responsible for the tragedy, which happened 1 year ago, where they're the worst sorts of people whose driving force comes from despair.
However,
and that's all there is to it. Not much to it, is there? But I guess that's the best we can. But I guess that's the best he could do as a complete Kirigiri failure. But any information about the mastermind is helpful, right? I appreciate whatever information we get our hands on. I see. It's a good outlook to have. Okay. Alright. A leather chair. I can't imagine a student using something like this. It must have been the headmaster's. We kind of already figured that out. Dingus. The desk is home to a computer. It must have belonged to the headmaster. Okay, that just got us a thing. Oh, there's a secret door. I see a secret door. Huh? There's a strange gap in the wall. Is this some kind of design mistake or a construction defect or something?
So...
There's a gap here, but not just any normal gap. I feel a breeze coming out. A breeze?
Indeed.
There's likely an open space on the other side of this wall. Open space? Does that mean... You mean like a hidden room? I think I might know how to open it. You know how to open it? Did you figure that out some kind of trick or something?
Indeed.
Very easy trick, yes. So easy, I'm not sure you can even call it a trick. I saw a program on that PC that I think controls it. Enter the right password and the door should open right up. But I don't have a clue what the password might be. All we know is it's probably made up of letters and or numbers. We can't really go from there. You're right. There's not nearly enough to go on. I looked through all this paperwork, all the files on the PC, everything I could think of. I learned more about him than I had any desire to, but nothing that might have been his password. And when I think of how much time I wasted on this, jeez. So there's a hidden room she couldn't get into. That's what she meant by regret. I think we can assume that there must be some kind of clue waiting in there. But maybe for her, there's more to it than that. Anyway, if we want to get in there, we need to figure out the password. And if Kyoko can't figure it out, no way do I stand a chance. No, wait, there might be a chance. The password could be something Kyoko wouldn't have thought of, or something she didn't want to think of. For example, what about your name?
What?
Huh? Oh, sorry, I was just trying to think of what the password might be. I'm sure she hasn't tried that. I mean, it's totally understandable. After the way she talked about her dad, the idea that he would use her name as his password. Knowing how she is, I bet the idea never occurred to her. Do you mind if I try it, just for sure?
Well?
It's not like you need my permission. If you want to try it, try it. Do whatever you want. Okay. You know, I'm glad I thought of trying her name, but if that's not it, that might just hurt her even more.
Hey.
You're worried about me, don't be. I already know that your guess is wrong. Okay. In that case, here goes nothing. I collected myself, then turned to face the computer. Let me see. Type the password here. I typed her full name. My hands were tense, slightly trembling as I finished typing it in. Beep. What? That did it? Kyoko, it worked.
Why?
Kyoko? Without looking at me, she disappeared in the hidden room. She looked grim. Kyoko! Kyoko! There's a... Oh my gosh! Hey, Kyoko. I may as well not even have been in the room. Her gaze was fixed on only one thing. A present? Wrapped and covered it with such joy. That's what made it so unusual. I'd better check out that suspicious present before I do anything else. There's a brightly colored box here. It seems totally out of place. The more I look at it, the more suspicious I get. Should we open it? I'm getting kind of a bad vibe from it, but I mean, I can't not open it. Okay.
Makoto.
Be careful, Makoto. Why, you think it's dangerous? No, not dangerous, but surprising probably. Huh?
It would seem...
If it is what I think it is, at the very least, it's not something you'll be happy to see. Wait, so you know what's in there?
Anyway.
Just don't scream or anything, okay? Is somebody's head? Are you saying this something that'll make me want to scream? Okay, I'm just gonna open it. Step by heavy step, I approached the box. I took a deep breath, then took hold of the lid. Slowly, ever so slowly, I lifted it up. Oh my gosh. Listen to how many words they say. I opened the box. Light began to sneak its way into the box. I stole a hesitating glance inside and... Oh no, I screamed. Her advice was no use. I let out a trembling cry. Oh, it was a head. What was in the box? It was bones. Human bones. It was the last thing I expected to find in such a bright, joyful box. I mean, who could have possibly imagined?
I see.
Just as I thought. What? Explain. Just as you thought. How could you have known that? I mean, there were bones in here. Human bones. Well, it's not that I was thinking of bones specifically. I just had a feeling it would be his body. That's pretty much the same thing. A dead guy in a box. My father. Huh? What about it?
Correct.
What you found in the box? Those bones. That body. That's my father. Or at least what's left of him. Are you serious? This is Kyoko's dad? The same man she's been searching for? Hold on, how can you know that for sure? How do you know that's him?
So...
Given all the information we already have, that's the only possible answer. Alter Ego said that the headmaster was probably here in the school, but the only ones who were alive at the start of the killing game were us 16 students. When you put those two ideas together, it doesn't take much to assume that most likely my father was in this school, but he was also dead. That's my assumption, anyway. I feel like these are giant stretches. Like, they're massive, massive stretches. As Kyoko explained her analysis, she was completely calm. Or no, she wasn't calm. She was only trying to seem calm. She said it was just as she thought, so she knew it was a possibility, but I have to believe that at some point she wanted to be proven wrong, which is why she never looked in the box herself, even though she had plenty of chances. I know Kyoko said she wanted to see her father, so she could cut off all ties, but was that all there was to it? I gave up some of Would she really give up her pride just for that? I couldn't help but wonder. Hidden room present has been added. Alright, now we got a present. Can we talk to her again? I feel like I shouldn't make pointless small talk right now. Maybe I should just look around for a bit. Alright. There's a picture. Huh? This picture? It's all faded. Must be pretty old. Wait, this is a picture of... Hey, Kyoko. Oh, her.
Why would
Well,
you?
this is annoying. I came here to cut myself free of the past, and yet I now find something like this. So what do you expect me to do now? Then I was right. It's a picture of Kyoko when she was a little girl. Knowing the headmaster had this picture all of this time, he must have really cared about her. Why? What? I wanted to face him and tell him myself to cut him out of my life for abandoning me. It's the whole reason I came here. Now he's abandoned me again. This time, he even stole the only opportunity I had to move on. Has there ever been a worse father? Okay. Who knows how he died? Alright, well, we're discovering mysteries. Mysteries are being solved. We're solving some mysteries. Let's check the dresser. This filing cabinet. This isn't a filing cabinet. This is a freaking dresser. Seems like the kind of place you'd find a clue. We should look together. We should look closer. But I don't think Kyoko would like some stranger like me touching her dad's stuff.
Hey.
It's fine. Check whatever you want. Are you sure? Okay, then. I went through each drawer one by one, starting from the top. But all I found were piles and piles of unrelated documents. He was pretty dedicated to his job, huh?
Well?
It's just because he didn't have anything else. He could have inherited our family business, our legacy. Instead, he left it all behind.
Now,
if he couldn't even handle a job like this, he couldn't have been that much. He would have been that much more of a failure. I'm sure he wouldn't stand the thought of that, and it made him desperate. Alright. Let's look at this desk. The headmaster's desk. It's probably hiding some kind of clue, so I really want to check, but I really don't want to touch. She already said okay.
Because...
Never let anything get in the way of your investigation. I don't. Okay, then, if you don't mind. Starting from the top, I opened all the desk drawers and looked inside. I rummaged through each one, finding nothing but unrelated documents. But in the last drawer... Huh? It's an e-handbook, right? And this one has a label on it that says, in case of emergency. I found some kind of emergency handbook in the headmaster's desk.
In other words...
A handbook with no limitations given to the school's ultimate authority, the headmaster. I'm assuming that's what it is. I think you're probably right. It might prove useful as we continue our investigation. Why don't you hold on to it? Huh? But Kyoko, I don't need it. If you don't want it, go ahead and leave it here. Then I guess I'll take it. Is it really okay? Headmaster's handbook has been added.
Hey.
Listen, Makoto. Huh? Can I ask you a favor? A favor? What is it? I know it's completely unreasonable to ask you this, and I know it'll only inconvenience you that much more, but could you leave? Huh?
Correct.
Just for a little bit. I'd just like to be alone for a bit. Kyoko? Don't worry, I'm fine. I just need to calm down a little. I need to get my emotions in order. We're getting close to the end. You know, Kyoko? The end is in sight. You told me before about the relationship you had with your dad. How you're only connected by blood, not by heart and soul. Just go. She said go away, Makoto. Maybe that picture motivated him. Maybe he hoped to see me again someday. Is that what you were going to say? If so, it's just a theory, and this isn't an issue that can be settled with theories. The picture doesn't change the facts of what happened, what I went through. The problem can't be solved so easily. You're right, I'm sorry. Once I've got myself under control, I'll return to the investigate. So please, just give me some time to myself. Okay, I understand. Then I'll see you later. Later, nerd! Later, nerd. Is she really okay? She must have a complete... It must have been a complete shock to her. I mean, it was a shock to me. Oh yeah, we're They killed the headmaster, killed Kyoko's father. They killed him. The headmaster is dead. But we were wrong about it. The headmaster wasn't the mastermind, which means the mastermind's true identity is... My God, they're... Everyone else is dead. But we're gonna see all the deaths? Nice. No, one more. Undeniably dead? I'm not so sure about that one. Me. Well, only those 6 people are still alive, then there's no question. Wait, no, that can't be. I refuse to believe it. There has to be some other way. There has to be. Alright. Alright, we're gonna go back to the locker room and use our thing to look in all the lockers, because now we have a thing to look in the lockers. Hey, look, it's an eye. Look, it's an eye. Look at that eye. It's watching us. Anyway. We should be able to get into all these lockers now. Wow, we're so dumb. Oh my gosh, we're so dumb. Yeah, well, yeah, that's what I was thinking of. The eye from Hypnospace. Alright. What do we got inside? Oh, the locker is totally disorganized. Whoever it belongs to is probably has organization. It's Hero's locker, I think. Maybe? Crystal ball. Huh, crystal ball. No, it can't be. There's no way he ever used this locker. It's just not possible. I mean, that's what we're gonna find. I'm certain that's what we're gonna find. There's all kinds of textbooks stacked, but in dust everywhere. Let's assume whoever stuff that says didn't do a lot of studying. Not that I can talk. Trying to act casual and natural as possible, I picked up one of the notebooks and saw. But at the moment I looked inside the notebook, any sense of easiness I may have had evaporated. Yep, there it is, Hero. What? There's no denying what it said. Inside the notebook was written, Yahiro, blah, blah, blah. This is our Yahiro? The notebook also contained a large number of notes for a variety of different classes, which would mean he attended classes here. No, that can't be possible. I mean, Hiro came to this school at the same time as the rest of us. We were all sucked into this evil world. We never had a chance to take any classes. So what is this notebook? Locker notebook. All right, what, anything else? I think that's it. Oh wait, there's the third thing. This one? Deck of playing cards? No, they're tarot cards. But wait, aren't those used for telling fortunes? It's just a coincidence, right? Oh, we did things in out of order, apparently. Alright, well, let's look in this locker. Whose locker do you think this is? Oh, it's nobody's. This thing was practically empty, except for there's just one thing, some kind of pocketbook. I don't see a name written on it, so I can't say for sure who it is, but there's some writing inside. Could be important. I don't like violating the owner's privacy, but I better take a look. It looks like a girl's handwriting, and all the letters are spaced out evenly, like whoever wrote them was measuring them. Whoever wrote this must have been very meticulous. Huh? I was flipping through the pocketbook. My hand froze when I got to a certain page. I saw something familiar written there, words I'd heard before. There's a plan to turn Hope's Peak into a shelter and isolate the students here in a communal life. I decided to talk to the one who came up with the plan directly. It just so happens to be the headmaster and my father. He was willing to give me some details regarding the plan, and here's what he said. The point is to keep our student prodigies safe, to keep them as our hope for the future. Only their genius can overcome disaster, and only their hope can overcome despair. For the future of our country, our world, it's not an exaggeration to call this our final hope. We must isolate our superior youth from the corrupted world to serve as a foundation for a new era. This is the only hope we have. I hope that you'll be willing to go along with this plan. So that's what my father had to say to me? As usual, he had a selfish decision without consulting anyone else. I can't imagine a worse father. Alright, well, this can't be true, can it? But I knew it was, and I knew exactly who the pocketbook belonged to. Kyoko, and it couldn't be anyone else. But if this belongs to Kyoko, what was it doing in this locker? And what she wrote here completely contradicts what she already told me. She said she hasn't seen her dad since he left when she was little. I decided to talk to the one who came up with the plan directly. Okay, we're replaying a thing that we just read. So what does all this mean? I quickly scanned the remaining pages of the notebook. Must have been looking for something that would prove me wrong about the whole thing, but when I reached the last page, the question mark spinning through my head just started spinning much faster. When I looked at it, unlike the rest of the pocketbook, the writing here was messy, disorganized, scrawled. What is this? What does it mean? I have no idea. How can this possibly make any sense? Locker pocketbook added to our notes. Alright, I guess that's all you'll find there. Why are there lockers that look like they belong to people here? A notebook that seems like it belongs to Hiro. A pocketbook that belongs to Kyoko. There has to be some kind of explanation, but if I want to find that out, I have to keep moving the investigation forward. I have to believe in everyone. Alright. Was this the locker with the pocketbook in it? Nope. Okay. Keep looking at the lockers. Nothing interesting in that one. What about this one? Nothing interesting in that one. Okay, I guess that's it. I guess that's it. These look openable, but I guess the doors are off of them or something. So I open that one. What about this one? This one's not. I open that one, and then I open one over here, and that's it. All the other ones didn't have anything in them. Alright, well... Usually when I'm done with a room, it gives me a hint that I'm done with the room. This time it didn't give me a hint that I was done with the room, so kind of worried I'm not done with the room. You know? I think I've clicked everything, though. I think now I've clicked everything. Well, I haven't clicked this plate. Okay. Okay, that... Well, I guess I didn't click that one. But I think that's it. I think I've clicked everything now. Will it let me leave? Oh, I don't want to go this way. Will it let me leave? There wasn't anything in here. So I guess I leave. Alright. So I think I've done the second floor dorms. So I'm gonna cross it off. So now we need to go to the headmaster's room, the headmaster's office, the chem lab, and the data center. But we're not gonna do that today. We're gonna do that on Thursday. And we may finish the game. We may finish the game, but I'm not gonna say we're definitely gonna finish the game. I'm saying we may finish the game. We're not technically on chapter 6 yet, so probably not. We probably have a few more streams to this, and then we'll be done. So that's my guess. I feel the mystery is gonna be I hope it's worth it. Let's just say that. I hope it's worth it. I hope it's worth it. I don't know if it will be, but I hope it is. It is Tuesday also. It's Taco Tuesday. So if you want to enter the Taco Tuesday Taco Token Raffle, it's not too late. Just type ! I love tacos, all one word in the chat. And you can win a taco token, which can be used to add bonus votes to games or exchange for tacos. You do, and if you, and I mean, everybody loves tacos, right? In one way or another. Hey, we cleared. We got a achievement that only 19.7% of people who played this game got. It's like a silver one. Yeah, those were so good. No, it does. Those are all just. Those are like completely randomized. I believe. I believe that you can have as many games in the incentive vote as there are. I believe that's the rule. I'll have to. I would need to double check that though. I don't think it. I'm not sure though. Oh, maybe I did change it. Let me check. It used to be that you could, but maybe I did change it. Let's check. I can check real quick. Game. I'll just check my code. If it's. Oh yeah, it does look like it does limit it to 1 per user, so it just randomly picks 1. Maybe I should pick the highest one. Wait, I think it does pick the highest one. Does it pick the highest one? Oh, this is so confusing. I've confused myself. I've honestly confused myself. I think so basically I think what it does is it picks okay, here's what it does. It takes all the users who have added games, all right? It takes all the users that have added games. I'll explain to you how I coded this. So it counts all the users that have added games to the incentive queue. It takes those users, puts them all in a list. It shuffles that list of users, right? Then it goes through a list of games ordered by most votes to least votes. And for each user on the list of users, it will pick 1 game for that user from the top with the most votes. So let's say if it picks like you, Kitty, Trouble Games, Finkelroy, and me, because I have games on the list, and whoever, it'll take the top game from that user and put it on the list. Then what it'll do, after it's done with that, then it'll add all the other games that are ordered by most votes. It'll put that on the list. So if there aren't enough games for if there's only like 3 users that have games on the list, then it would potentially add more games. But if there's 5 users that have games, then it'll pick 1 for each user. Oh, okay. Oh, if they're the same votes? Well, you asked me if you have multiple incentive picks, if to randomly choose one, if they're all the same votes. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I don't know how it would order them. Oh, it'll order them by date. It'll order them by date, so it's by date. Now, I don't know if it's the date. It should be the date that it was added, the oldest game, I would think. No. Wait, no. No, because it doesn't. Because it picks by users, not by game. Maybe I should change the system. Maybe I should make it more likely that, at least that's how I think it works. Oh no, actually I'm wrong. I am wrong. I am wrong. I am wrong. I looked at it again and I am wrong. So, if you have 4 games on the list, it will be on the list 4 times, so you're more likely to get picked. So the more games you do have, the more likely you are to get picked as a user. So basically it creates a users array, goes through the entire list, and adds each user multiple times to this thing, and then it shuffles it. But it'll only add you once. So it's kind of like getting tickets in a raffle. So you're more likely to get picked if you have more games on the list. Interesting. I mean, that's an interesting way to do it. I mean, I guess I did do it differently than I thought I did. If array search... Oh, no, wait, maybe I'm wrong about that. I might be wrong about that. I'll have to... I saw another thing that maybe I'm wrong. It might only add you once. I don't know. I'll have to go through the code.
Oh man.
I'm not overthinking it. I just made it more I just made it complicated. I just made it complicated. It's complicated. Let's just say it's complicated. It's complicated. You think the way I said is the best way to set it up? It might be. I mean, I don't know why I don't just do it like I do all the other queues, where I just pick a game, and if you're already... I mean, basically, I pick a game, and if I see a user that already has that game, then I just... You know... I should just do it like I do all the other ones. I don't know why I do it differently. I guess it's because I randomize it, that's why. Anyway, we should do our taco token drawing. I've stalled enough. I stalled to let you enter. I do know I changed that the way it worked. It used to just randomize it. Just pick the top, pick it, randomize it, pick 5, boom, done. But I changed it after we kind of got a big queue. And I wanted people to get more of a chance to get their games in the vote. Alright. We only have 5 entries. But that's fine. That's fine. Let's go. Yeah, I think I have it set up by most votes goes to the top. Because I order the list of games based on the number of votes it has. So the top game is the one with the most votes. If that user doesn't get picked, it will go to the next one. So I do know that it is ordered by votes. I know that. It's just how likely is a game to get picked? Or a user, I guess, to get picked is the question. All right, here's our winner. Scar Emerald. You're the winner. Token. Yeah. There you go. There's your token. Alrighty, so I'll be back on Thursday at 8 o'clock. Back to my, well, I was never really off my normal schedule, I guess, except for Sunday. Yeah, that's not how. That's definitely not how it works. It definitely wouldn't do that. Okay, I mean, I can explain to you how it works on. So I got two lists, right? I have two lists. I have a list of games ordered by number of votes. I have a list of game ordered by number of votes. Then I have a list of users. It shuffles the user list, right? Randomizes the user list, picks the top 5 users from that list, then finds the top games from each of those users, puts them in the vote. That's how it works. So it's, instead of being randomized by game, it's randomized by user. So that's my understanding based on reading the thing right now. But I guess we'll find out if it works like I think it does. Because goodness knows I can write something and think it works like a certain way and then be totally wrong. That one I'm not sure about. That I'm not sure. Originally I thought yes, and now I'm not sure if that is correct. So I will look more into it. Anyway, let's raid somebody. Yeah, I know, it always does exactly. it just reads my mind and writes code based on my reading my mind. I mean, that's how it works. But my mind's a mess. And sometimes it just reads it wrong, I guess. I don't know. A butt ton of tacos. All right, we're gonna rate Ash said hi. He was playing Diablo, the original Diablo, I guess. Oh my gosh, I haven't played this game in a long time. I don't even know if I beat it. I don't know if I beat the original Diablo. So that's who we're gonna raid. Oops. Oh no, I did it right. I thought I entered the wrong command. So that's who we're gonna raid. Ash said hi. Who's playing Diablo the First as a sorcerer. All right. I think so. I'll be back on Thursday at 8 o'clock to get closer to finishing this game.
I love you because you kill people.
We're seeing, I feel like we're definitely, like, in sight of the end of the game. Like, we're on the true ending route. So, yay for us. Yay for us. That's good. Alright. I mean, I think we're definitely near the end of the game. The question is how near. So we're actually going to be able to play another game soon. I don't know if it is. I think it's getting close. It's definitely getting close. But anyway, thank you all for being here. Have a great night, and I'll see you all next time.